Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Right, let's see if this is going to work for us. Hang on a minute. Activate. Oh, a bit racist.
Now, Chinatown was a great tool, but the trouble was, pretty soon, if the post office somewhere, you should call it back, because Chinatown is Chinatown.
Trust me. Out of all of those things,
Gosh.
trust me to pick the racist
That
one.
was outrageous.
I mean, of all of the songs I could have picked out of there,
Thankfully, we couldn't quite hear what was being said.
well, they were doing Chinesey voices. They were doing Chinesey voices.
What's that? What year is that record from?
That record is the China Bop by the Ray Ellington Quartet. That is 1948, I think. 1948 on the Parlophone label. Dear listener, I have a new toy. It is a delight. I haven't really fiddled around with it yet. Just before we came on air, the needle slipped out of it. So I hastily had to put another needle. Now, this is, dear listener, a gramophone player. A Decca 50. It is was considered to be the iPod of its time. It is would have been portable. People would have taken this out on picnics to the river, the park, and they would have played their racist, old-fashioned songs like that. And it is absolutely stunning thing. I mean, it sounds ropey. It's meant to sound ropey. You have to wind it. It doesn't even last. The wind doesn't even last for a whole side of a 78. You've got to wind it up.
Well, they didn't go in. Good job they didn't go in for much snogging on dates back then, because you have to keep cranking the handle.
It is. If you're watching on Periscope, you can see it. It is absolutely stunning. And I'm going to say this. A steal, just under 90 quid on eBay. I've been watching. I don't know why. And by the way, I believe it's Alex, and I don't know Alex's partner's name, but Alex, thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much indeed. This is an absolute treasure, and my heart is full of joy for owning it. For some reason, I've wanted an old gramophone player for a while. I've been looking at them, and they're quite often bright. Remember, I saw one about 3 years ago when we were in London, and it was really expensive. It was about 120 quid, and it didn't hold its tempo. The speed varied enough for it to be annoying. Was
that a crank handle one?
It was a crank handle, yeah. And so it's been in the back of my mind for a few years to get one. And then just recently I just thought, well, Lino's tweeted, I don't know what's going on Iain Lee's show, but now it sounds like what I imagine the inside of Nigel Farage's head is all the time. And so I've been kind of looking on eBay, as is the place, and I was looking for a record player for my sister, and I fell down the gramophone rabbit hole and was looking, and they were either broken, buy it for parts, or they were too expensive. Then I saw this bad boy, and when I saw it, it was 20 quid. Mm-hmm. So I put in a cheeky bid, and very quickly I was outbid, and we went up, and I went up to 89 quid, and I thought, nah, that ain't gonna win. And it won. And Catherine, it was near where Catherine lives, and she very kindly went and collected it for me. And it is absolutely beautiful. I need to experiment with the needles and things like that. And it came with a wonderful album, like a photo album. I didn't know this was coming with it. It's a photo album. His master's voice, it's like a photo album. But it's full of these beautiful 78s made from shellac, which is made from beetles' shells, which is incredible. And they shatter like nobody's business. We haven't broken any yet. And we opened up, we're flicking through it. There was one from Jim Dale, our friend Jim Dale. Friend of the show, Mr. Jim Dale, Dr. Nookie himself. So we were playing that, and there's no volume control. It just plays loud, and it's brilliant. Because of it. I love it. It is beautiful beyond compare. My boys will love it. They've got, my eldest has got a cheap old Crosley record player in his room, and we were listening to Spirit last night, guys. And he loves listening to the Carpenters on his record player, and I'm not gonna let this stay in their bedroom, but I'm certainly gonna let them have a look at it and have a go on it. It is a work of art. Alex, sir, thank you very much indeed for parting with this. And this will be well and truly loved, and we may play another disc later on. By the way, if anyone knows anything about gramophone things and what there's about 50 spare needles in there. I don't know what I'm supposed to use. I don't know what, but what a joy! And for those wondering, the machine that will allow me to record my own records on this was sent out today. We may have it tomorrow, we may have it Wednesday. We just don't know. But I will be making bespoke 78 RPM records. Wowzers, guys. This is absolutely stunning. I love it. I'm going to push it to one side, and we'll use it a little bit later on. And interestingly enough, by the way, Iain Lee, the Late Night Alternative, Catherine Boyle is here.
Boom.
Sam is through there. Interestingly enough, it kind of, just think, everyone on that record is dead.
And so are probably their children.
Isn't that incredible? The actual voices of ghosts on there. What a joy. But it kind of ties in with a thought that's been buzzing around in my head a bit. And I put it into practice, kind of, on Saturday. I've been inspired, but last summer, I think it was, John Ronson, the writer and screenwriter and author and, humorist, I guess we would have called him back in a different time, and he's been on the show. He did some shows at the Leicester Square Theatre. I think he did a week of shows where he was interviewing big names like Louis Theroux and big names. And, John is kind of a podcast innovator, I would say, and he's done TV shows and movies and things. And lots of people on Twitter said, John, I can't get tickets. Will these shows be filmed or recorded for podcast? And it would have been easy to have recorded it for podcast. You just plug a little recorder into the soundboard. It was 2 mics, easy to record. It would have been fairly simple to film as well and inexpensive. And John Ronson replied, no, I'm not recording them. I'm not filming them. And that really resonated with me. It just kind of, I thought, in this age where we film everything and we take pictures of everything, and we podcast everything. And if you miss a TV programme, you just go on your phone and you can watch it. And if you miss a radio show, you can go on your phone and listen to it, or your computer, or whatever. You know, in this age where everything is available. When I was 14, 15 years old, and I was really into the Monkees. This was the late 80s, okay? And I would scour record shops for copies of their albums. And also, I would write off to mailing lists and adverts I saw in magazines in America. And they would then send me a list of things, and it would, take 2 weeks for it to come over. Then I'd go through it and work out what I could afford. And then I had to go and persuade my mum to go to her bank to get a cheque made out for American dollars. I can't remember how you did it, if you went to the post office or if you went to the bank. But it was a really complicated thing. And then she would come back and give me the cheque for American dollars, and I would post it and I would send it off, and then I'd get a package back. That whole process could take 3 months just to get half a dozen tapes. And you really had to look for stuff and search for stuff and be lucky. And now everything is available to everyone all the flipping time. Now, I did a show here on Saturday night. I filled in for Dr. Pam. She was refereeing a bukkake party. And Kath wasn't producing it. It was a young man called Des. And it was a straight-to-air show, and I wasn't sure how it would go. I didn't know, what the audience figures are like for a Saturday night on Talk Radio. And do you know what? It worked really well. Really funny show. Different from what we do in the week. It was a one-off. I'd like to do more. I'm saying that now. But it was a one-off. Completely different from what we do in the week. There was nonsense, there was stupidity, there was pantomime. The last 30 minutes was very funny as I sent the listeners off on a fool's errand. We had some really heartfelt calls, incredible call from that lady who really wanted to have a baby. And so there's loads of, I got a blind man to tell Alexa to F off. It was a good show.
She ignored him, didn't she?
She ignored him. It was a really solid show. And I kind of made the decision not to podcast it, not to have it out on podcast. We only do half an hour podcast anyway. Not to podcast it. Well, some people online, #entitled, have got very angry about that. Very angry about it.
You know they can listen again,
Well,
right? This
is the thing. It's slightly fake because, yes, you can go online and you can listen again. I think it's on my YouTube channel as well. Certainly bits of it are. Right? So it's a slightly fake thing. But I just wanted to buy into that thing. And if I did ever end up doing the Saturday show, and I'm speaking slightly out of turn because Dr. Pam does an absolutely superb job. But, you never know what's around the corner. If I did do the Saturday show, to make it different, I would not want it podcast. It for me lived in that moment. It only really existed between 9 p.m. and midnight on that Saturday night. And I kind of liked that idea about it. Partly because it makes it separate from the weekday show, so it's a different thing. Partly because it's happening live, and you don't know what's going to happen, and it is a bit more spontaneous, and it feels a bit more dangerous. Well, some people online got very, very angry. I want to download the whole show. Well, you can't. Well, I want to. And then some kind soul says, well, actually, you can listen to the whole thing again, and there is a way of, I don't know how you do it, but there is a way on the Talk Radio site of downloading it. You can do all that. No, I want to download it. I don't want it downloaded on my computer. I want it downloaded on my phone so I can listen. And people were explaining, and this guy couldn't get it to work, and he was getting angrier and angrier. And then he went, well, if Talk Radio can't be bothered to podcast it, I can't be bothered to listen. I cheekily replied, thanks for the support. And it just struck me, and I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just thinking out loud. And Alan and Barry, I can see you there, and I will come to you after the break. 0344 499 1000. It just struck me that we are now in a position where, if you missed a one-off radio show, and it was a one-off, if you missed a one-off radio show, you can actually get angry with the host and with the radio station for not making that radio show available to download at your leisure. That's kind of where we've got. And I love the fact that people listen to the show. I love the fact that people podcast the show. And I know some of you do record the whole thing and pass it around as well. And do you know what? I'm cool with that. I'm really cool with that, because I would have done the same thing for a show that I really like. So I'm not in any way having to go and denigrating the podcasters at all. You know, it's kind of part of the job. But there's... and I really haven't got an end line for this. There is no kind of, and that's where I'm at now. But I'm getting excited by the prospect of doing something that only lives in that moment. You go and see a play, right? We're going to go and see a play in September. That performance will only exist on that Saturday afternoon between 1:30 and 4:30.
And that's brilliant, right? On Wednesday, my daughter, she went for an audition to get in.
Oh, yeah.
And she got a really good part. And she's got a couple of... And she's a shy girl, and you never would have thought she'd put herself up for it. And it's the first thing she's done where she's had to audition for it. And she got it, and I was thrilled to bits for her. One, because she really loves being in sort of plays and things like that. But also, two, because personally, I didn't think she had it in her. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud of her. Right. I know I'm going to be sitting behind... rows and rows of parents, some of whom will have cameras out.
Yeah.
I won't be able to see it. I won't, and I will.
You'll be watching it through someone else's screen.
I will. Or I'm determined I'm not going to be watching it through my screen. But is that bad that I won't have it?
Well, there you go. There's a question, because I've done that. I've done that. I make an effort when I go and see kids' things now. I film bits of it. I film it unobtrusively, but I don't film all of it, and I'm not looking at it through the screen.
I was sitting behind someone one Christmas with an iPad.
Oh, yeah,
one,
no,
holding it up.
That, yeah,
it's like, you might as well hold a book in front of my face.
The school we go to, it's a posh school, and the people come in with these massive lenses. And I've kind of been there, and there is something in recording those special moments of kids. I wonder, just thinking out loud, because we don't remember stuff. I wonder if it's going to have some impact on Alzheimer's in 50 years' time, because we don't exercise that memory thing. I don't really film bits in concerts anymore. Maybe my favourite song, or when I took the boys to see the Beach Boys, I filmed a tiny bit of my boys singing so I could send it to my wife. But I tend not to film concerts. I tend to sit, I used to, but I tend to sit there and I look at the band and I look around and I look at the audience and I try and remember
be in the moment.
Yeah. It's that being in the moment.
But it's an effort, and there is an anxiety, isn't there, bubbling away, thinking, I'm not getting any of this, I'm not getting any of this.
Yep.
But when do you actually sit down and look at that stuff afterwards?
Yeah.
There's that picture I saw on Twitter last year of Justin Bieber crouching down in the middle of all his fans.
Yep.
And not one of them is facing in his direction. They've all turned their backs on him because they're getting that selfie.
There's a great picture, and I do wonder if it's fake.
The one of the granny?
Yeah, it's like there's.
Is it
like
the Pope?
It's a Pope or something. I don't know what it is. And there's a picture, and it's 500 people with their phones out, and they're crushed up against the barrier, and there's just an old woman, the only person just looking and not holding a little thing up and all of that. And I wonder if it's going to have any. We're more stupid than we were 20 years ago. More stupid. Who knows how to read a map? Who knows how to? When I use the sat nav, and before my dad would work it out in his head. He'd go, right, we're heading west. And so we need to, and he'd work it out, or he'd look at the map, and then he'd work it out.
Or you would stop and recheck your map.
And now we just look at a screen, and so it means what my dad would do is it would take us 3 hours to get there, but it would take him an hour and a half to get back because he'd remember the route.
Yeah.
I don't remember the route back. I don't know how to get back from places. We are more stupid as a society because of technology, and I wonder if 50 years down the line, we're going to be more frail, have more, variants of Alzheimer's because we haven't trained our memory muscles. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. You might want to chip in about that. You might not want to. I don't really know. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give me a call, the late night alternative with me, Iain Lee, her Catherine Boyle on Talk Radio.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Apparently, you're supposed to change the needle every side.
No.
This is what someone said. I've got to oil my handle. Tompkinson Glass isn't enjoying the show. Sorry, can't listen to your inane spew anymore. I've replied, OK, your windows are shit.
That's in a town quite near to where I live. Maybe I could go and watch him do his work and tell him he's rubbish.
People who make glass windows shouldn't throw stones.
No.
Well, that sounded like a threat. Antique stained glass. Ooh, what are you staining it with? Victorian arts and crafts. Arts and crafts.
Fair play, though. His Twitter feed is fascinating. He's taken a picture of his nuts.
Oh, for goodness sakes. Is there any phrase... I can only think of one phrase that instills as much fear as arts and crafts, and that's Psychic Fair here this Saturday.
Yeah.
Arts and crafts, Chris!
Hello.
Hello, Chris.
Hi. I just want to talk about recording stuff.
Yeah, go on.
And what you were saying about not recording the Saturday night show.
Yes?
Do you not think that now in 2000 and what are we in, 14, 15?
We're in 17.
Oh shit, I've lost a few years. That people should record more stuff. If you think back to Derek and Clive and that kind of thing, where they had to book studio time and book time to get together and do stuff, and that was a big deal, and that was recorded on the tape and put out, and that was their main thing.
Yeah.
But you do that 5 nights a week. Are you as good as Derek and Clive?
Well, I'm not. I think comparisons between me and Derek and Clive are slightly amiss. But yeah, no. But you've just put forward the argument of why things shouldn't be recorded.
But then you miss the gold.
What gold? What are you talking about, man? You don't know what year it is.
The gold came out Saturday night when.
Yeah, it was good. You should have been there. Did you listen to it?
I listened to it this afternoon.
Yeah, brilliant. And it lived in that moment. But here's the thing, right? It was a really good show, completely different from this show. And you listen to it. And I'll be honest, it's a slightly fake conversation because, it is out there if you want to find it. But I'm not putting it out there deliberately. Those people who missed it, their lives will carry on. And they've still got another 15 hours, well, 18 hours of me this week if you include the Virgin show. So, isn't it, you talk about the Derek and Clive thing, they had to find a time in their diaries when they were free. It's slightly different because they're not a radio show, but then they had to book the studio, then they had to record it, then they had to edit it. Maybe they should have edited it a little bit more. Then they had to release it, and then it went out of print for 15 years, and then it came back on again, and then it was passed around on cassettes and bootleg tapes. Yeah. And that made it more special. Derek and Clive isn't actually that funny, right? But what made it funny was the naughtiness of it, the subversiveness of it. I bet most of the people that heard Derek and Clive didn't own the records. They had a third generation bootleg that their mate had taped off a mate who taped it off their dad.
I don't agree with that.
Hang on, which bit of that don't you agree with?
I've got the records in front of me now.
Right, well, you're a rarity then. Most people didn't. I certainly didn't own a copy of it when I heard it.
You didn't find it funny?
I found it funny when I was 15 because it was adult swearing. But if you deconstruct it, it's not that funny. What is it? Raquel Welch has got something up her fanny or something. I mean, what's the worst? He talks about being a sea kicker. That's not. I mean, some of it is actually pretty nasty. The sea kicker sketch is awful.
It is, but that's
that's not a funny sketch, man. I don't want to deconstruct comedy too much, but the sketch where he talks about kicking someone in the sea, even as a 15-year-old, I didn't find that funny. I found that I thought that was unpleasant.
But the funniest is in the unpleasantness, where it is.
No, not in that sketch. That sketch was just mean. And it was Peter Cook. Peter Cook could be wickedly. Peter Cook could be wickedly funny, but he could also be a nasty piece of work. And there are some sketches in there that show that I think do neither him nor Dudley Moore any favours. And the Sea Kicker sketch is one of them. It's thoroughly unpleasant. But also it's incomparable because they were recording an album. This is a radio show. So it's completely different. And there's a real sense of entitlement that everyone thinks, oh, I should be able to listen to this whenever I want. Why? Why should you be able to listen to this whenever you want?
Well, I was one of the ones on Twitter saying to the guy you were saying about earlier on, who was complaining he couldn't get it the way he wanted it. And I said to him 2 or 3 ways of, like, you can download it this way, that way.
Oh, yeah, I saw, yeah.
And he was saying...
but it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy enough for him. He wanted to press a button and it would appear on his phone for him to listen to whenever he wanted. And I'm sorry, dude, that ain't the way it works. And I just don't think... Hey, so there's 3 hours of me that not everyone has easy access to. The world's still going to keep moving. It ain't important.
But what if you did the best 25 minutes of your life, of your career, on that show, and it just went missing?
Well, tough.
Really?
Yeah, tough. So what? Why is there this fascination that everything has to be documented and recorded?
Because it's your career.
But it doesn't mean anything. None of it matters. And there's other stuff that's out there. So
but it does to other people. Other people who are fans of your work.
Well, they should listen. If they're big enough fans, they should have listened on Saturday night between 9 and 12.
Yeah, and they did, and recorded it, like I did.
Well, that's great that you did, and I've not got any problem with you recording it at all and passing it around, put it up online. Do whatever you want with it. I couldn't care less. But I'm not going to put a podcast out. And if you know, if people were such big fans, and I don't for 1 second presume I have such rabid fans, but if they were, then they should have listened to it. And if they missed it, oh well. It was funny, but you know, I've done better, I've done worse.
And most of it was funny. That girl who had 2 boyfriends and got pregnant a couple of times wasn't very funny.
No, it wasn't very funny. It was heart breaking. But people, you know, if people didn't listen to it, tough. Everything is too readily available. We are disappearing up our own mobile phone footage.
But you put content out there to be heard, not to be heard once and disappear.
No. As far as I'm concerned, the radio show is disposable. It's plastic, man. It's plastic. You think they call us plastic now, baby? You wait till I tell them how we really do it. There's a line for you 60s music fans. The radio show is throwaway. It's disposable.
But the effort you put in, and it's disposable.
The effort we put in is for a disposable form of entertainment. It's throwaway. You know, listen, the podcast, people are upset the podcast is only 30 minutes now. Well, that came from our boss, but the more I think about it, the more I think, actually, yeah, it's a good idea. The rabbit hole is separate because that is primarily a podcast. It isn't a radio show. That is more comparable to Derek and Clive releasing an album. You know, it's more comparable to that. But the radio show, it's 15 hours a week. Some of it's brilliant, some of it's quite good, some of it's absolute rubbish. You know, the first hour and 40 minutes of Friday's show last week was awful, I thought. It wasn't until the last hour and 20 that it picked up. So what about that hour and 40 minutes? Do we put that out again? Do we release that as a podcast? Release that as a CD or a download? No.
For the last 30 minutes of that woman, I listened to it this afternoon on YouTube. I just felt quite awkward.
Yeah, but who is the judge as to what we... In this instance, the judge is Catherine, but who is the judge as to what is good enough to be listened to again and again and again, to go into the podcast?
I suppose you judge... It's your content. You judge what you put out.
Listen, let's take it away from me, right? Well, who's your favourite group?
As in music?
Yeah.
The Smiths.
All right, so if the Smiths got back together, right, and played a gig... hang on, let me change this ever so slightly. Led Zeppelin, right, got back together a few years ago and played a gig, right? The three of them and the son of the drummer. I don't really know a lot about Led Zeppelin. But they played a gig at the O2, right? They could have made millions by filming it and releasing it on DVD and pay-per-view to stream it. And they didn't. They didn't. That concert lived and existed for those 2.5 hours in the O2 for those 15,000 people that were there. That's it. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that delicious?
Yeah, but their songs are on professionally recorded on an album.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the actual experience of them getting back together, I think, for the first time since Live Aid, I think. I'm not too hot on my Led Zeppelin history, but the first time they got back together, and why would people would consider that an historic reunion, and they didn't release it, and I think that's wonderful.
So why did you release Iain Lee on radio?
On CD?
Yeah.
Because for two reasons. One, for money. Mm-hmm. And two, because I wanted to have a CD out. I'd never had a CD out before. So it was for vanity and financial gain.
Mm.
Ah. Well, it wasn't because I necessarily wanted it documented.
But
I've got loads of them recorded. I've got about 6 of them recorded. Just because I recorded them. Nothing's ever going... I'm not going to release them.
Mm-hmm.
It was for money and vanity. Imagine that. Imagine that. There's honesty for you.
Imagine doing that.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris.
Anyway.
Thank you very much. 0344 499 1000, the late night alternative with Iain Lee.
The wild man of late night radio is back.
Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Evening, Barry.
Hello there, Iain. Can I just say, Iain, I listened in on Saturday. I made the effort because sometimes you do have to make an effort. And it was no real chore because it was a thoroughly enjoyable show, Miss Catherine. But the show itself I thoroughly enjoyed.
Thank you very much. It was a good show.
I liked the 140 little bit. That was a real laugh towards the end.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And it'd be nice if you could try it with our lot, with our listeners.
Nope.
No, okay then.
No, that was a one-off. It was a one-off.
I got you.
It was a one-off, Barry. Imagine we're not going to retread the old ground. I'm not even going to explain what it was.
Oh, that's fair enough. Anyway, it was a good laugh. Can I just say about mobiles?
Yes.
I don't possess a mobile. I don't use sat-nav. I do use a map. I don't mind stopping and asking for directions. My life's not come to an end as a result of it.
Exactly.
And I just find it very odd, Iain, because the question I get asked more than anything is, well, how do you manage? How do you manage without it?
How do you manage?
I manage in the same way I always did, Iain.
Oh, go on. You get lost.
So,
Hello.
There we go.
There we go. Well, yes?
And I mean, I just think there seems to be a big dependency on sort of wanting things instantly.
Yes.
Now, I made an effort. You'd told us that you were on Saturday.
Yes.
I made a point. It was 9:00, so I was quite ready to sit down. And, it's no real problem. I listened to the show, and as I say, thoroughly enjoyed it.
There you go, Barrington. Thank you very much indeed. There you go. Indeed. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, why should you have... It all started with video recorders. Video, and what we now refer to, or we did refer to, we've moved on from it now, time shifting, where you didn't have to stay up late to watch that movie. You didn't have to come home from work early to take that episode of that show. You could go out on a Saturday night and come back and see what had happened in Minder, I think was on a Thursday. But, it's that thing. We all feel... Stephen says, I listened to your show on Saturday. I thought it was banging. It was there to be lived for at that moment. Bollocks to the moaning idiots who want everything at their fingertips. I want to... and I don't know. And maybe by the end of the show at 1:00 we'll have an idea. I don't know. But I want to take this idea and create something that is really pure and does only exist in that moment. And I don't quite know what that would be. I don't know what that would be. Whether that would be an evening, whether that would be. We haven't got the technology to do the radio show because it goes up on the website. I don't know what.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
The mousetrap.
Oh, I know who did it.
Well,
no.
so many people know who did it.
Yeah.
But no one says.
Yeah.
Because you're all complicit.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about the mousetrap, is that what goes on in that theatre stays in the theatre. And that's the fact that that's a novelty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is what makes it special.
We need to come up with something that is a one-off. And in my head, the picture I have. Oh, I know what it'll be. It'll be a game of Had. There we go. That's what it'll be. Our game of Had will not be recorded. It will not be documented. It will be spoke of only in hushed whispers. Were you there? No. Did it really happen? It did. I heard from someone that they went and they were it. That's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. The summer holidays are upon us. I will have a little look for a location. We might do a tour of Hads, because I'm aware, the obvious place is to do it in like Hyde Park or something like that. But then that's unfair to large swathes of the country. So maybe we do one in Manchester as well. Don't know, but we'll do that. We'll have the game of Had. That will be, and no photographs are permitted, no recordings, no videos are permitted. It will happen, and we will do it.
Here's the thing that's
we'll
going to
get a courtroom artist to sketch it. That'll be
brilliant. Here's the thing that's going to shock you.
Yes.
When I got married, I banned videos. I didn't want a video.
Oh.
Everyone was having wedding videos, and I said I didn't want one.
Oh, it was very trendy.
Because it's never going to be as good.
Those guys with the big cameras, and we didn't have a wedding video.
No, some people took. I've got a few little bits of bootleg stuff that people took.
That's interesting. I've got 2 minutes of me and my best man serenading my wife with a mandolin, and that is and even that I don't know where that is.
And isn't that brilliant?
Yeah.
Because to be honest, when I got my wedding pictures, I was a bit annoyed because I saw things that I hadn't noticed on the day.
Yeah.
Like, I had a bit of hair dangling down that no one told me about.
Did you not shave?
No, my hairdresser let me go out the door, and she later told my sister's friend that she'd muffed it up and never told me.
Oh, did you get your money back?
No, I never went back to her again. I'd been going to her for years.
Good.
But I was gutted.
Yeah.
And then when I saw that on the pictures, it just annoyed me.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I didn't have a video. I'm glad I didn't. But everyone has videos now, and it's like they're thinking about that before the actual moment.
And by the way, before someone tries to catch me out, we're still going to release the Rabbit Hole podcast. We're still going to release the daily podcast of this show. And we're still going to film stuff and stream it on We're still going to do that. That stuff will happen.
But the Rabbit Hole podcast isn't the whole thing.
No.
If you come on the night, you get a whole different experience. Because I chop big bits out of the rabbit hole.
By the way, July the 29th, Saturday, July the 29th. It's happening Manchester, 1 p.m. Tickets are selling fast. Google Manchester Fringe Rabbit Hole or go to ticketsource.co.uk/Iain-Lee, ticketsource.co.uk/Iain-Lee. And hopefully tomorrow, certainly this week, I would imagine, the rabbitholeshow.com will be up and will be running, guys. We've had some boffins have built a fantastic, fancy website for us, and that website is going to be live soon, and it looks absolutely stupendous. Dom, stay there. We'll come to you in a minute. 0344 499 1000, the late night alternative on Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Go on, read that tweet, because that tweet is spot on.
OK, this is from Monkey Spangles.
Hey, Monkey Spangles!
Says, I'm simultaneously scared of missing anything and drowning in all the things I haven't yet been able to see. Time to live in the moment?
Time to live... I'm going to play another one of these records. So I've got to buy... shed loads of new needles in. Okay, so you're supposed to change the needle.
Every time?
Every time.
That would explain why there are so many in there.
I want to die a little. Just winding up my gramophone. Every time you say goodbye, I want to cry a little. Pump it up. I'm going to be doing making bespoke records soon when my equipment arrives, if it works. Must stop buying crap on eBay. I must stop buying crap on eBay. Let's see if this works. There we go. Oh, listen. Oh. There we we go. So listen to this. Oh, little scratch there. Here we go. Here we go. Lovely, isn't it?
It's like Laurel and Hardy music, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, this is great. We're broadcasting this in DAB. Speed it up. Oh no, slow it down. Speed it up. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Boing. I need to find out about needles. Right.
Oh.
Sorry? Hello?
It's haunted!
That is... Now, Alex on his listing never mentioned it was haunted.
Come back in for the singing.
No wonder he was so keen to get rid of it. Alex, I'm going to leave you a bad review. The product worked fine, but it was possessed.
Well, I told you the story behind it, didn't I?
Yeah, go on.
They've had it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
They didn't say why they got rid of it.
Yeah, now we know.
It was from his boss's dead mother's house.
Oh!
Is it getting faster? Is that tea for two?
He sold me a haunted gramophone! That's terrifying! Oi.
Is this a hint that someone wants a cup of tea?
Can you hear me, Mother? I'm actually, Dom?
Yeah, man.
There's a... It's coming to the end, I think.
Yeah, I think this might be the episode of Goodnight, Sweetheart. You're about to go somewhere.
God, no!
It's nice knowing you, Ian. Weeknights at the Catherine Boyle Show.
Well, can you leave a bad review on eBay because it's haunted? It's possessed by a demon? Wowzers. Terrifying. Thank you for that. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. And the fact, I mean, I don't really know much about it. I'm going to look up the history. But the fact that this is at least 70 years old and still moves, you know, is incredible.
Whether you like it or not.
Whether you, even after you've turned it off, it still goes. Dom, what have you got for us, Dom?
I was waiting for you to go Andy Kaufman and start saying, "Here I come to save the day."
That's it. Yes.
My new feature.
Oh, yeah. Now, well...
You want to do it?
Well, here's the thing. Let's do it tonight, but...
Right.
I quite like the idea of doing it on the Virgin Radio show. Sunday mornings from 10.
Whoa. You're stealing material from my callers?
No. He phoned up Virgin on Sunday and did this. He reads it's a game I've been wanting to do for years, and I think I did it once at Absolute. I'm not sure. And I never got round to do it. He read a bit from an autobiography of someone, right, but without any clues. I guessed straight away it was David Hasselhoff. Oh. It was mainly because he was...
Hang on. It wasn't just that. It was the very next line was,
I made my fame in Baywatch, or I made my fame in Knight
gave
Rider.
it away, right? Because let's be, David, God bless him, has had his troubles, and he was playing Jekyll and Hyde, and the whole thing was about him coming off stage and the stagehand telling him who he was going back on stage as. But I did. Okay, so let's do it tonight.
Right.
And then let's save it. By the way, how easy did you find it to get on to the Virgin show when you phoned up Sunday morning?
I'm not going to... I had to lie to her. I had to say I was going to... I made up some rubbish about Sky Electrics and Live Aid.
Dredge...
She screams.
Dredge was interrogated. He was interrogated. He sent me a message saying, God, how far to get on? And I need to... I've obviously not given the message, let anybody on that calls in. I think she may have turned one caller away. But
I'm saying nothing.
Dom made it, and Dom... Well, they have standards at Virgin. Dom, go on, give us... You're going to read... What is it? Is it the prologue? Is it from a... How far into the book are we?
Right, well, that's what I've been trying to figure out, the best way of doing it. I'm thinking it's got to be the first chapter, not the prologue.
Yeah.
If the names are mentioned, I'll miss them.
Yes.
And I'll read it until you say stop.
Okie dokie.
Because obviously some are long.
Well, yeah, but don't. If you approach any part that looks like it's going to give it away, then skip it.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking you flunked it on Sunday, so I've got a slightly easy one for you.
Okay.
But I've got a stack of about 50 biographies to go through, and there are random people. So.
Okay.
Right. Chapter 1. Mum preferred the term masonette, but nobody else seems to use the word.
Hang on a minute. Do you mean Do you mean masonette?
That's exactly what I said.
Okay? I thought I had masonette.
Masonette.
You said masonaire.
He didn't pronounce his T's.
He doesn't know how to pronounce masonette. He thought it was French. Well, it is, but he thought it was masonaire, like legionnaire. All right, carry on.
Right. The truth is, we, Mum, Dad, sister, brother and me lived in a council flat.
Right, hang on a minute, stop the clock. It's an old 60s rocker.
Mm-hmm.
It's an old 60s rocker. I'm immediately going Mick Fleetwood, but I'm gonna hold off for a bit more. Continue, Evu.
Wasn't he quite posh, Mick Fleetwood?
Yeah.
He said that Sunday as well.
Yeah, I know, and one day it will be.
Okay. 11 Debenhams Road.
Oh, whoa, stop. I know this. I know this. I'm not Googling.
You know it.
Who lived at 11 Debenhams Road? I do know this. I know this. 11 Debenhams.
Get off Twitter.
It's not
not on Twitter. Not on Twitter.
It's not Danny Baker, is it?
It's Danny Baker.
Which book?
Oh, no. Go away.
Seeing a sieve.
Doesn't. No, Dom. Thank you, Catherine. Well done. No, Dom. You don't get to... You don't get to change the rules, buddy, like that. You can't change the rules and suddenly demand we have to name the book that it came from. For goodness sakes, man. Well done, Catherine. That's one in the eye for him. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call. Kind of, it feels like tonight we're sort of easing ourselves into the week. Nothing too hard, nothing too far. Saying that, I'm only here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Someone tweeted me, who's filling you in for you on Thursday and Friday? I went, I neither know nor care. I will be in the New Forest.
Well, only one of those statements is... Well, one of those three statements... Two of those three statements is true.
But I don't care, because I won't be listening. I can't listen.
But you do know.
Yeah, well, I can't be bothered to say. But I won't be listening. And you have the same thing. Did you find listening on Saturday uncomfortable?
I didn't listen properly on Saturday. I listened for an hour.
You listened to quite a bit. You phoned in at one point.
No, I never.
Yes, you did, mate.
No, I never.
There we go. Thank you.
I listened to the first hour, but I do feel... Right, here's the thing.
Yeah, go on. Go on. Here it comes.
It frustrates me listening when I'm not there.
What, 'cause you're hearing all my mistakes?
No.
Because I'm so good without you.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it makes me feel a little bit jealous of whoever's replacing me.
No, I know I have the same thing. That's why I can't listen to the show when I'm not here, even if it's someone that I really like. The poor lad, Des, who was producing on Saturday, he phoned me up the day before. What time should I get there? What prep do you need? Do you want me to source any guests?
These people that produce you on a weekend... They're desperate to produce you, aren't they? Like, properly...
Yeah.
Like, doing all, like, hard work and writing and that.
We came in, and I got in about 8:15 for a 9 o'clock show Saturday night. And it's because I didn't know how long it would take to get here on a Saturday. And he came in right, what do you need me to do? I said, nothing. And this was actually on Periscope.
I know, I saw it. You're a bit tight to him.
No, I wasn't. Shut up. Everyone said that. I wasn't tight. He just went, what do you need me to do? What are you going to open the show talking about? I said, nothing. And then silence. And everyone on Twitter, on Periscope went, well, that's a bit mean.
No, that's the way he is.
So, no, what do you want me to say? What am I supposed to say? Well, I'd already explained to him on the phone what the show was going to be. He knew what the show was. What are you going to start talking about? Nothing. Because I wasn't going to say, what do you mean?
Right, this is the thing. You've been spoiled.
What?
Because you've had me as your producer for what, 3-4 years? More than that, 5.
It feels like a lot more.
Right, anyway, so I've got used to your weirdness.
That's rude.
And just the way you do stuff, right? So we don't ever sit down and map stuff out because we know that the way we work is we go with the flow, right?
Yeah.
New people are scared of the unknown. They want to show that they're doing their job and they want to see the workings.
I wish you'd get your computer fixed. What is that noise?
Right, how come you like the crackle on that but you don't like this?
Because that's new tech. This is old tech.
Right. If anyone is an Apple genius out there, why is my computer suddenly doing this all the time?
It's overheating and it's crap and it's going to blow up.
No.
Dear listener, it's a very gentle easing into the week this week. We'll have a little look in the papers in a bit. There's loads to talk about. Can we be the first phone-in radio show over the last 24 hours, not to mention Doctor Who, apart from that? Can we be the first? Because everyone else will have touched on it and done it. And, really, if you're not going to watch a TV programme just because there's a woman in the lead role, well, then you're a sad case and you should have your penis chopped off. Actually, it's quite harsh. I surprised myself with that outburst.
Gosh.
But let's try and be the first show not to bang on about that. But you can call in about anything you want. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. The late night alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio.
Talk Radio.
Why? 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. We'll have a look in the papers after the news. You can, of course, call in about absolutely anything you want. This is the late night alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Get an earful of unusual nocturnal emissions with radio's Lord of Misrule, Iain Lee. No relation, thank God.
Unfiltered night talk with the original king of unconventional conversation. Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Yeah, can we... The Prime Minister is going to tell the government to stop tittle-tattling and telling tales about each other to the press. The Prime Minister is...
It's me again.
Take it out. Honestly, it's too noisy. It's too noisy.
It's turning off.
No, go on, take it out. Seriously, it's too noisy. No, just go, because it's too noisy.
I need it, though.
Well, then you have to work it there. It's too noisy. It's disturbing the show, Kath.
You're disturbing
No, it's not. I am the show. It's disturbing it. Go on. No, because it'll just come on again. It's too noisy. Oh, you're right. What did you fall over there?
Myself.
You tread on a cat?
Myself.
I should bring the cat in one day. That's what we'll do. I'll bring the cat in one day. Where are you going now?
I'll use paper.
What?
Old-fashioned.
Oh, man. While you're faffing.
I'm not faffing.
You're creating a scene.
This is ruthless efficiency.
Let's go to Malcolm. Good evening, Malcolm.
Good evening, Iain. Good evening, Catherine. It's a pleasure to speak to you again.
It must be.
Of course it is.
Yes.
Thank you for playing my kind of music tonight.
What, haunted music?
I'm trying to work out.
Yes.
I'm guessing it's either DeBroy Summers, Jack Hilton...
What, the last bit of music I played?
T for Two.
Hang on a second. Let me... no, it was... It was... Oh, I don't know. Hang on a minute. It's from No Nanette.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh. From No Nanette, the Medley Foxtrot, introducing T for Two, I Want to Be Happy, You Can Dance with Any Girl at All. Introducing Tea for Two. Flipping heck, isn't it, though?
Yeah. You've got classics there.
Oh, mate, it's treasure. It's actual treasure, man. And also...
It's history.
You know, you know, I've bought 78s in the past and dropped them, and these things shatter like nobody's business. So for these to even exist now is just incredible.
Yeah. It's history. My recollection, I mean, the thing that really made the hair on the back of my neck stand up was when I heard what I call the bacon and eggs crackler.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a great sound. And in this, you know, I joke we're broadcasting on DAB, but in this world where even, you know, classic albums are being remastered to get rid of any mistakes and any unevenness and all that. I love it. That's what I love it. The noise, the anticipation. Beautiful. I hope one of these is really badly scratched so it skips. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about these gramophones, though, Malcolm? Have I really got to change the needle every side?
Not in my experience.
Oh.
Yeah, the needles will become blunt, which is why you've got to...
Shit. Sorry.
What happened?
I pricked myself on a needle. So that's obviously sharp enough, then?
Yeah, but and the other problem with the 78s, especially the shellac ones, is that they will literally wear out.
Yeah. Oh, they're smoothed down. Yeah, of course. Is it right that if I had a thorn, I could use that as the needle? Someone said to me the other, you know, you can use thorns instead of needles. We'll find out tomorrow. That's what we're going to do. That's tomorrow's experiment, Malcolm. I'm going to get some thorns.
Experiment.
It's beautiful, it's stunning, and it sounds great, and I'm getting a machine as well this week, Malcolm, that's going to allow me, if it works, I pay quite a bit of money for it, if it works, that will allow me to record my own 78s as well on this.
Can I tell you a quick... I remember Blackpool Pleasure Beach in the 1950s.
Yeah. Was it pleasurable?
There was a cubicle, a little bit like a telephone kiosk.
Oh, I know where you're going with this. Go on, yeah.
Where you could actually put, I think, half a crown in.
Yeah.
And record your own disc, which you could then take back and give to grandmothers, in my case.
I've got one. My mum and dad recorded one in 1970. I know it was 1970 because my sister is on it as a newborn baby. Treasures.
Yeah. And when you think, since then, we've had all the old things of reel-to-reel tape recorders and cassette recorders, that these days, people, or you've got digital recorders or whatever these days. But you look back and you think... Like, it's the birth of the industry in the same way that before the records that you've got, people were relying on things like piano rolls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even up to the 1960s, to the early 1960s, music publishers made more from selling sheet music for popular songs than they did for selling records. So throughout the Elvis and Frank Sinatra and the early Beatles, but music publishers made more from selling sheet music than they did from the number of records they sold.
Yeah. Absolutely fascinating. I have got a cupboard full of CDs these days from the 1930s.
Yeah.
Purely because I was very, very lucky. A person, we all have people that we've met in our lives that have had a great influence.
Yes.
And my father in 1962 introduced me to somebody that he'd worked with during the war who became, up to a point, he acted like a second father to me.
Yeah.
And his name was Ambrose. Huh? And Ambrose was one of the top dance band leaders.
Oh, really?
He was the guy that half discovered Vera Lynn. He certainly discovered Anne Shelton.
Wow.
And when I knew him, he was in the theatre management business and he was managing Cassie Kirby.
Here's a name. Can we bring back the name Ambrose, please? Because, that's what Slade were originally called, Ambrose Slade. Can we bring back, Malcolm? This starts here. Thank you for that, Malcolm. I enjoyed that a lot. It starts here. The campaign to bring back the name Ambrose. Kath, go and get pregnant. Call it Ambrose.
Not a chance.
Call it Ambrose. So Theresa May is telling all the government, right, guys, stop grassing up Philip Hammond, please stop grassing him up for being a knob and saying, yes, he may have said that train drivers and nurses and police are paid way too much when you consider their pensions, but you shouldn't have told people about it. Philip Hammond, by the way, who rents out his property while we pay his rent, his mortgage, wherever it is, but he rents out his property for £10,000 a month. Hi, Chihuahua. And he's saying those nurses are earning too much money? What the heck?
The thing is about Theresa May.
Yes.
She's had it, hasn't she?
Beg your
They
pardon?
don't take her seriously at all.
No.
It's as if, when they had the leadership race and then everyone sort of bailed?
Yeah.
Everyone realised it was a poisoned chalice except her.
There were two murky stories that came out this weekend. I read the papers on Sunday. Right. Front page one, Philip Hammond saying that nurses are paid too much money when you consider their pensions. And then buried away in only one paper, about page 9, rumours that Boris Johnson has had another affair.
Oh.
And, I'm not interested in Boris Johnson's love life. We know he puts it around. We know he has children willy-nilly. We know he not only lies to the country, he lies to his sexual partners. We know that. But I just thought it interesting that one got front page and one got a third of a page on page 9. And so there's obviously stuff going on. There's obviously stuff going on behind the scenes in the government where everybody is trying to stitch everybody else up. It's a weird... the whole government is shifty. A shifty bunch. I don't trust any of those guys at all. And Theresa May's powerless. She can't sack Philip Hammond. She can't... Because if she sacks one person, then her delicately balanced position is completely to cock. I was listening, by the way, dear listener, Monday to Thursday this week, 10 o'clock in the morning, George Galloway is on. And I don't normally listen to this station at this time of the day because I don't like it. And people said, "Oh, you're such a coward calling her out on Twitter." I've said it to her face. But he was dismantling Boris Johnson in such wonderful language. It was such a good listen. Listen to George Galloway tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock if you can. John is on the line. Good evening, John.
Good evening, Ian. It's a pleasure to speak to you, my friend.
Thank you very much, John. What you got for us?
I have a classic rock tell-all book.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best tell-all rock biographies ever.
Oh, yeah. It's not the book written by Lindsay Buckingham's girlfriend during the making of Rumours, is it?
No, I must read that.
That's a belter.
There are no holds barred in that.
Caroline Harris, and it's called
Storms.
My Life with Lindsay Buckingham and Fleetwood Mac.
If you want to read a dirty book,
right.
That is a dirty book. I might read that again. It's been a few years, actually. I might have that one again. Yeah. Anyway, go on, John.
Okay, so they're on an aeroplane.
Yeah.
Okay, there are swears in this, but I will blank them out.
Okay, and we're guessing who it is.
You don't need to guess what the book is, but just guess who the band is.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
I was sharing a snort of coke with blank when the security man approached us, grabbed blank's dress at the collar, and jerked his hand downward. The dress tore down the front, and within seconds she was standing in her bra and panties, screaming and trying to cover herself with her arms. Blank burst into laughter. Blank roared with such delight that his voice echoed off the cabin walls. I didn't see anything funny about it.
David Bowie.
You blank assholes, I snapped. I leaned back, raised my left leg, and aimed a karate kick at one of the aeroplane windows.
What?
Smashing it, I'll turn the page, smashing it with my left foot and crumbling 2 of its 3 panes. As the window disintegrated, a platter of coke went soaring into the air, creating a snowstorm throughout the plane.
Oh.
Blank, who probably hated flying more than any of us, just about fainted. Blank dropped to the floor, figuring that the broken window would cause changes in air pressure, and in seconds the plane would tumble out of control. Quote, "I'll teach you not to blank with me," I screamed, pointing a
I'm getting confused. We should have had a different word for swears and a different word for names, because it's all... but okay, carry on, yes.
Okay. Quote, "I'll teach you not to mess with me," I screamed, pointing a finger at blank. I assumed, apparently by mistake, that blank was responsible for disrobing blank. Does this have something to do with your black magic mess? Is that what you're into now? Tormenting women?
Is it Led Zeppelin? Because they were into their black magic.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Oh, dear.
The book is Richard Cole, who was the tour manager, and it's Stairway to Zeppelin. Sorry, Stairway to Heaven.
A terrible, terrible band and a terrible lifestyle.
Oh, God, a terrible band? What?
Awful band.
I bet you hate the Doors too, do you?
Thanks very much. Thanks very much for calling, John. Of course I do. That fat, sweaty, sixth form poet in leather trousers that he never changed over 3 years, getting women to fellate him while he was high off his face on stage. No. Mr. Mojo Rising. Oh, yeah, my name's an anagram of Mr. Mojo Rising. So what? That doesn't even mean anything. Neither do your songs. The only good songs you've done are the two pop songs that everybody hates, Touch Me and Light My Fire. The rest of it, jog on. And when I say Light My Fire, I mean the 7-inch single version, not the version on the album with that boring blues jam in the middle.
I quite liked She Lives on Love Street.
Oh, for goodness
Come on.
Late Night Iain Lee. Unfiltered Night Talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000. That thing is banned from this studio. That computer, don't bring it back. That computer is banned from this studio. Take that case off. Alan, tell her.
The computer's banned, Cav. Listen to Iain.
Yeah.
I don't respect your authority, Cads.
Well, he's got authority. I think I broke my thumb over the weekend.
Oh, dear.
I click my thumbs, and I can't click my right thumb anymore, and it really, really hurts.
Oh.
Could it be early arthritis?
Could be early arthritis. Could be, he's right. What you got for us, Cads?
I want to talk about a momentous decision that was made last night.
You going to become gay?
No, but new female Doctor Who.
Oh, okay. Well, we are going to jump on the bandwagon, and every phone-in radio show in the last 24 hours has done this.
Yeah?
I couldn't care less that it's a woman.
The first time ever in history.
I know. But, I mean, you say first time ever in history, the show's only been going for 55 years.
And we've never had a woman as a doctor.
No, exactly. But then, you again, when you say the first time ever in history, you make it sound like there are loads of programmes where they could have had a female Doctor Who.
I mean, we nearly had Riversong as Doctor Who.
Are you going to stop watching it?
Well, I'm going to watch it because we'll see what the regeneration's like.
Yeah.
And I usually make up my mind after seeing the regeneration.
I don't get why people are so upset by it. I think it's,
diversity.
It's hang on, are they in it as well?
No.
The little lad with the afro, is he going to be the Doctor?
I hear he's going to be the new companion.
If Doctor Who is a lady, why can't Doctor Who be a baby? Why can't it be a baby?
A Time Lord baby.
Why can't Doctor Who regenerate into a baby, and then like in the film Baby Commandos, and the baby goes and does everything?
Why couldn't it be a dog?
Yeah, why couldn't it be a dog?
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. Why, if it's now a lady, why couldn't it be a lesbian in a wheelchair?
So many possibilities.
So many. This does open the door, of course, for Black Bond.
Idris Elba.
He's too old. I saw a picture of Idris Elba at the weekend, topless, right? And I thought, old man, he looks very old.
Well, I've heard a rumour that Daniel Craig has just been signed up to do the 80th Bond film.
Well, here we go. We should let Daniel Craig be Doctor Who, and the new Doctor Who can be James Bond. How about that?
Idris Elba.
Yeah. Honestly, I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less about it being a female Doctor. I think it might provide a breath of life to a franchise that's on its last legs. I don't know, but also, and I did look. I spent 10 minutes looking. I found very little of the criticism on Twitter that everyone was talking about. And I followed the hashtags. I was looking at Colin Baker, one of the doctors who was tweeting
He's bang
about
up for it, isn't he?
Yeah. And I couldn't find any, and I'm sure in the papers they'll have found the tweets. I couldn't find any. And I did spend 10 minutes looking. Okay? I didn't spend ages, but I spent 10 minutes following all the hashtags and the news feeds, and I couldn't find any tweets that said, "Oh, bloody woman, I'm not watching it. What's she gonna? What they gonna do when she's on a period?" I couldn't find any of that. Actually, that was a text that someone sent me. I won't say his name. But I couldn't find any of it. I don't think most people care. No. Really, I don't. You know, good for her. I don't know the woman in question. I don't really watch TV. She was in Broadchurch, was it?
Apparently.
Good for her. What a great opportunity for her it will be. I'd love to be Doctor Who. Oh, I'd love it. Oh, I'd love it. Or even just an assistant. Oh, I'd love it. Oh, that'd be great. Be great.
I don't think I've ever seen like a full one of the new ones ever. I've just not bothered.
I love Tennant. I kind of dropped out after Matthew Smith, and I started with Capaldi, but the first couple I thought were a bit dry. But my youngest likes Doctor Who, so we'll get there eventually.
I watched the new Game of Thrones this afternoon.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Never seen it.
No boobs in it so far though, so that means the next episode's going to have boobs and fighting.
Here's the thing, and Game of Thrones is in the mirror today. Here's the thing, guys. It will let you down at some point. Might not be this series. Might not be next series.
I think this is the last season, isn't it?
Well, in that case, the ending is going to be rubbish.
Well,
if it is the last, we say series in this country, then the ending is going to be rubbish. Listen, trust me. I lived through Lost. I lived through Fringe. I lived through Battlestar Galactica. It is going to let you down. You are wasting your time watching that show. They don't care about you. The actors and the actresses and the producers, they don't care about you. They're all off getting millions of dollars, hookers, cocaine, karate kicking in aeroplane windows. They don't care.
You know, I told you about Top of the Lake, didn't I? Saying it was perfect because it was like one series and it it had an ending that shocked and stunned and you didn't see coming. You didn't see coming at all.
Yeah.
They've done a second series.
Of course they have, mate.
And they're showing Top of the Lake at the moment, sort of, so you can catch up with it, so you can see the next one. But I think it will be brilliant. I actually think it will be brilliant because the first one was so well done.
Nah.
Oh, it's Elizabeth Moss. She picks them well.
We got excited in our house. There's a little 4-minute behind-the-scenes footage of the new Star Wars movie that's dropped. I believe they say it's dropped.
Really?
Yeah.
That's quick, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it comes out in December. It didn't half look good. I'm not a massive Star Wars fan, but watching it through the eyes of my 7- and 5-year-old, it is a joy.
Oh, I like Star Wars.
It is a joy. They're always amused when this posh old camp man comes on. I go, yeah, that's C-3PO. They love that. Really? Yeah, C-3PO. Here we go. It's Style Wars as fans get a lookie at Wookiee Chewbacca having his hair done for The Last Jedi. An official behind-the-scenes video also gives a poignant glimpse of Princess Leia star Carrie Fisher, 60, who died last December. In addition to Chewie, right, there is a peek at new creatures appearing in the movie out in December. I tried to watch Batman vs Superman at the weekend, and I'd heard that it was a stinker. It was a brilliant press junket, where it's the bloke who plays Superman sat next to the bloke who plays Batman, who's that actor. And the bloke who plays Superman is really into it. and the bloke who plays Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
The bloke who plays Ben Affleck knows he's in a turkey. And you can see him looking off into the middle distance.
Yeah, haven't you seen all the different sort of cuts of that where they're playing soft, sad music as he looks off?
I tried to watch it and I thought, it can't be. I like superheroes. It can't be as bad. And my appetite had been whetted by the Spider-Man film, which we enjoyed, and there were loads of trailers, including for the new Justice League movie, which has got Flash in, which is my boy's favourite, and Batman and Superman and all that.
What does the Flash do?
It just goes really fast. And my boy constantly is saying, Daddy, and he stood by the settee, if Flash was on the other side of the world, could he get to the settee before I sit down on it now? And I go, yeah, of course. But I'm right next to it. Said, yeah, but that's how fast he is. He could. But I gave up, and I never give up on movies, very rarely. I gave it an hour. It was 3 hours long. And I gave up after an hour. I didn't have a clue what was going on. I did not understand what was going on. What was Jesse Eisenberg doing? It was really overacting as a young Lex Luthor with long hair. Well, look, it's Clark Kent! Oh, and Bruce Wayne! Have you guys met? You're going to meet each other. It's great. So you're flipping it. And I like Jesse Eisenberg, but I thought, what the... I did not have a clue what was going on. It was absolute wink. Honestly, it was terrible.
Is the whole attraction of it, oh, look, we've got them both in the same film.
But, well, yeah, it is. But I remember, I used to read these comics when I was a kid, and
Did they fight in the comics?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, yeah, they did.
I thought they were both goodies.
Yeah, they are, but Batman distrusts him because he's an alien, and all of this.
It's a bit racist.
Yeah, it's quite racist. But I remember them having a massive fight, and I remember one comic, Superman taking Batman, who'd got beaten up by someone else. He took him to the Fortress of Solitude. But I like my superheroes. I bought that Captain America book when we were in the States. I've still not read that actually, but I'll have and I like all of that. But this was so flipping. It was boring. I didn't know what's going on. Luckily, I was watching it on a pirate website. I'm joking. I bought a DVD. Can't get your money back. Hey, I tell you what, I had a lovely little argument with someone on Amazon. They'd sold me... Someone recommended an album by a guy called Dan Eichelbergs.
No, I don't know.
Daniel Buckstein.
No.
Dan Ecton is a young man, and loads of people said, oh, you'll like this guy. He sounds a bit like the Monkees. Dan Eckhart. Daniel... Ekshbein.
Do you know what? It doesn't matter.
So I thought, oh, do you know what? I'll take a punt. I'll buy the CD. So I bought the CD. £5. Waited for it. And it was been dispatched. You'll get this by July the 12th.
Yeah.
By July the 12th, it hadn't come. Gave it a few more. I emailed the fellow, said, hello, mate. Sorry, I've not got the CD. He said, oh, sorry, you should have had an email. I said, no. He said, OK, I'll send you another email. And he sent me a download code. I went...
Whoa.
No. I was talking to the producer. I said, no, I ordered the CD. I don't buy download codes. He said, no. The ad clearly states download code. I went, no. And it didn't. It did, but it said it right at the bottom. And also, if you were doing it on a mobile phone as I was, it didn't say it. I went, nah, mate, sorry, I want my money back. And he said, no, I'm not going to give you the money back. I went, right. Now, the thing with Amazon, they are great customer service. So I got them to phone me. And I said...
you told Dad?
Yeah, I told Dad. Got the money back, right? Left the guy a crappy review. And then a week later I thought, oh, wonder if that download code works. It did. Got the album for free. Boom. In your face. In your face. Well, he shouldn't have... I'll see if he's responded to my review in a minute. Paul, stay there, come to you in a minute. 0344 499 1000, the late night alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Dan Auerbach. This is the review I wrote. 1 star. Very misleading advert. The whole tone implies you're getting a physical CD. The item was described as used. Tracking instructions and a delivery date were given. When that date passed, I contacted the seller to ask where my CD was. He explained there was no CD. It was a digital download only, and I could have no refund. I ended my review with this. Fishy. Very fishy. He replied, please read what you are buying before doing so. Common sense is always useful.
Burn.
I've got a CD and the money back. Good evening, Paul.
Hi, Ian. Hi, Kath.
Do you know Dan Auerbach?
I got some cream for it once. I got rid of it in about a week.
Sorry?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, away you go.
You made a point earlier on about live recorded stuff, etc., for posterity, all that type of thing.
Yes.
You mentioned the Led Zeppelin.
Why are you at an old recording? Because there's a very strange hum coming from you.
I don't think it's the best phone in the world, Ian, to be honest with you.
You think it's
the phone recently, and it's not great.
You do half sound like Barry Weston.
Yeah, you do.
Didn't he? Sounds like Barry Weston.
Barry Weston?
Barry Weston, yeah, you sound like Barry Weston.
Okay. Sorry.
That's okay, Paul, don't worry about it. It's, you know.
Should I be worried about that?
Yeah, a little bit. Anyway, go on.
You mentioned the Led Zeppelin concert at the O2. At the O2.
Yes.
Yeah?
Oh, here we go.
Well,
people with their facts. Let me just say, Catherine, people phoning up with their facts, right? Let's hear Paul's fact about this. Go on, Paul. Go on. Do it.
And they mentioned the fact that it was a one-off and it was...
Yeah, go on. Stop toying with me. Get the dagger out and shove it in my stomach.
Are you going to puncture his pomposity?
I'm not... I'll go if you like, without making the point.
Go on, then. Go on.
Just say it. They released it as an album. Say it.
And a Blu-ray DVD.
Oh!
It doesn't matter, because...
as well. I just thought, put them out of actual fact, as it were.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks for that fact. But my point still remains true. It may not have happened for that instance. Well, no, it does.
Not in... Well, specifically not.
That specific example doesn't hold true. Well, it does hold true, because the caller didn't know any different. But everybody on Twitter was shouting, no, it's out. Well, they're all losers, Paul, because that band sucks.
Oh.
Well, that's a different matter altogether, isn't it?
It is a different matter altogether, really, Paul. Was that it? You just wanted to humiliate me?
You know, I think truth helps sometimes.
Thank you, mate. Cheers, Paul.
Okay, mate. Bye.
Ta-ta. So this is Dan Auerbach, who everyone said, I've not heard it yet.
He sounds like the Monkees.
Last night, you seem to deal with it all right.
Well, hang on a minute. Let's try this one, hang on. Oh, flipping it. People wanted me to spend money on this. Let's try this one. Strong bass guitar. I like the bass.
I've been thinking.
Why do people
Didn't you like that?
No.
Oh, 1, 2, here we go.
I like this. This is like the Archies.
Sugar.
There's nothing you can say that I haven't heard. 'Cause walking still speaks louder than words.
No. Why do people think I would like this? Let's try this one. This is awful. Let's try this one. There we go. Let's see what this one sounds like. Oh, this one I quite like. No, I don't like anything that he's doing there.
Is that bouncing? Is that why it's going...
Yeah, it's a little bit bouncy. I think it might... we have a little... The needle might need... That one looks knackered. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Here's something I don't understand. This was in the news earlier. Primark has recalled thousands of men's flip-flops because they contain unsafe quantities of dangerous chemicals. Cancer alert over Primark flip-flops. How have we got to a world where people are putting cancerous chemicals into shoes?
Poisoned shoes, you say?
How Where's the thinking? You know those flip-flops, you know what they need? What's that? They need cancer in them. What? Yeah, I was thinking we could make this range of flip-flops. They've got cancer in them, so when you wear them, you get foot cancer. What? The alert. Take it out. Take it out. The alert involves 3 versions from the Cedarwood State Range in khaki, black and blue. The footwear was contaminated with chrysine, which can cause cancer. What the heck? Primark has suspended orders with a factory pending an investigation. The high street chain is offering full refunds to customers. At least I'd want my money back and a cancer foot screening. A spokesman said, at the levels found in the flip-flop, I mean, also, here's a thing I discovered on my last summer holiday, which wasn't last year, guys. It was the year before. And these are incredible. Have you seen these? Sea shoes. Sea shoes. Shoes you wear in the sea. Because the worst thing about going in the sea is the stones and all of that crap you got to walk on. It really hurts, man. Really hurts. And so if you've got sea shoes on and they kind of tie up round your feet, they're beautiful. Beautiful. A spokesman said, at the levels we found in the flip-flop, we believe the health and safety risk to customers is minimal. How the hell is that even a thing? Cancerous flip-flops, guys. And whoever told me to buy the Dan Auerbach album, screw you, man. Yes, admittedly, I've got a digital download for free, but it sounds like an absolute stinker. Why would anyone think I would like something like this?
Last night.
Last night. This thing's about last night. Oh, there's a brilliant thing, and I heard this on Radio 4. The government is 0344 499 1000, by the way. The government is going to make it harder for children to access porn sites, which is great. That's a great thing, yeah? We don't want kids necessarily accessing porn. But it won't work. They had the head of the Minister for the Internet, I think it's called the Minister for Information or something, on Radio 4. And they don't know how they're going to do it, but by next April, they're going to make it so that all porn sites have a proper age verification, because I don't know if you know this, but at the moment the age verification says verify you're over 18 years old. Yes, I think I am, mister. I'm over 18. Porn website visitors will have to prove they are over 18 to access adult content from next year, the government has announced. And there's several different ways that this can be done. Now, the way that they talk about in this story and the way they are pushing it at the moment is Digital Minister Matt Hancock. He's got cock in his name. Is credit card verification. That's kind of where they're going at the moment. Credit card verification, right? Because you can only get a credit card if you're 18. Hang on a second, you can have sex at 16. And also, won't kids just be borrowing their parents' credit cards and typing in the numbers? And also, that means that if I, as a 44-year-old lonely man, want to access pornography, which is my right, if I'm looking at, fairly fringy stuff, I have eclectic tastes, but it's certainly on the right side of legal. Way legal. Completely legal, but unusual, right? And supposing I want to look at that, I've got to give them I haven't even got a credit card, I've got a Switch. But I've got to give them my credit card details so that somewhere, some amorphous agency is collecting, Iain Lee, he likes videos of women eating jelly from a lady's fruit bowl. Just talking about porn. And about the government's plan to make it impossible for kids to look at it. It don't work. It's flawed beyond compare. The minister...
So what's the security that they're going to put on it, other than asking people what their age is?
Credit card.
Right, okay. So a lot of kids these days have these sort of charge cards that their parents give them.
Credit cards.
Oh.
You can't... but I haven't got a credit card, so what am I going to do?
But the thing is...
The old bank. That's what I'm going to do. The old school. Old school. The bank.
We were talking about living in the moment and saving your memories, weren't we?
So the suggestion they're going with at the moment is it'll be credit cards, right?
Won't happen.
Well, no, it can't happen. Because I can hack into Netflix, so it makes it think I'm in America. I don't anymore because they got wise to that, and they anyway. But it's easy to do. You get a VPN and you can pretend you're anywhere in the world. Kids will know how to do that. And also, as Eddie Mayer said to the digital minister, Matt Hancock, what about Twitter? There's porn on Twitter. They said, no, we're not going to regulate that. Right, okay, so you're not regulating the internet. Unbelievable! 0344 499 1000 Talk Radio.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over.
Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Let's get to the nub of this. Porn website visitors will have to prove they are over 18 to access adult content from next year, the government has announced. Users will have to provide credit card details to get on a site in the attempt to protect children from porn content. I mean, I admire the notion behind it, but that ain't gonna work. It's brilliant that a Tory MP or any MP, some middle-aged bloke thinks they know how to police the internet. They haven't got a clue. There's ways around everything, dude.
Well, they just start sending pictures of each other, won't they?
Well,
more than they already do.
Well, websites flouting the new rules set to be part of the Digital Economy Act, which already sounds really dated, could find a regulator has told their internet service providers to block access to them. The aim is for all online porn to have age verification by April 2018. Let me tell you this now, guys. That ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. The Department for Digital, Culture, Media and Sport... Digital? So that's computers. Culture? That's plays. Media? That's television. And sport?
That's an unhappy bedfellow.
That's a strange group of things to have together. That's a weird marriage, isn't it? The Department for Digital, Culture, Media and Sport. Flipping heck. It's like, right, we've got all of the departments. Hey, hang on a second, I've just found plays, computers, telly and a football over it. Oh, bugger, just put them all together.
They should just call it the Department of Hobbies.
Hobbies. Adult sites are expected to use the same software currently employed by gambling sites, which use credit card details. But the thing is...
Yeah, but you're betting money. So you do need to put your credit card details
Eddie
in those.
Mayer came up with a brilliant point. Right, she's talking to this minister, and the minister said, well, of course, sex education is compulsory in all schools. And Eddie Mayer, whoa. Is it? Yeah. Sex education is compulsory in all schools. Yes, all schools that follow the national curriculum. So, it's not compulsory in faith schools. Well, no, but it's compulsory in... He said, right, OK, and young people can have sex at 16, so if they're not having sex education and they don't have access to pornography, which of course gives a distorted view of sex, but it at least lets you know what hole you're supposed to... You know what I mean?
Well...
I know, but it
gives you a rough idea,
If you've not had sex education... you know, what, you're supposed to rub it up against a lady's thigh. Literally, that's what some people might think. And he said, so if it's 16, 17-year-olds who have been in the faith school the process, but they can't have access to porn, well, who's going to educate them? Well, that's their parents' responsibility. But their parents, the fact they put them in the faith school, there's probably quite a strong chance that they're Muslim or Jewish or Christian, and they won't want them to know. And 16-year-olds, here's a thing for you guys, 14-year-olds have sex with each other. Of course they do. Try and remember what you felt like at 13 and 14. I don't know what it was like being a girl growing up, of course, but being a boy growing up, suddenly at 13, I was horny between the age of 13 and 21. I was horny all the time.
Let me tell you, the girls feel exactly the same, and we've got this confusing thing whereby we're taught that we should be romancing and all that stuff. So girls can be, you know, they've got all these hormones surging, and also they convince themselves that this lad is madly in love with them. It's a really, really dangerous time for them. It's a really sensitive time for them, and they need some guidance.
Online porn has been blamed for damaging development, and decision-making has been seen by 65% of 15 to 16-year-olds. I totally admire what they're trying to do. This ain't the solution, guys. You sound like Grandad coming in and saying, right, make sure you turn your phones off. I want all the screens off. Nearly half of all 11 to 16-year-olds have seen it, the NSPCC says. It also study also found that... but they're not going to block it on Twitter. I can find porn on Twitter. It's there. It's there. It's easy. Look for it. I had some fella...
You don't even need to look for it.
I had some fella today tweeting me something, asked me a question about podcasts or something, and I replied. He went, nice one, thanks. And sometimes I look at people's... thing to see who they are, just you know, find out a little bit about the people that listen to me. And his bio was, I love stockinged feet, I love bare feet and bums and suspenders. And it was.
And then does it say doting dad?
Something.
Sometimes they do.
It was like a fetish feed on Twitter. And he asked me a question about podcasts, and I answered it.
Like he's got varied hobbies.
Dirty bugger. Will Gardner, Chief Executive of Internet Safety Charity ChildNet, said protecting children from exposure to adult content is incredibly important, given the effect it can have. Steps like this to help restrict access alongside free parental controls and education are the key. It's essential to help parents and carers as well as young people be more aware of this risk and what they can do to prevent exposure. Digital Minister Matt Hancock, whose name would probably, get bounced back on some email servers, is set to formally kickstart the process with a written statement to the House of Commons. He said, all this means that while we can enjoy the freedom of the web, the UK will have the most robust internet child protection measures of any country. And also, supposing I want to look at pornography, right? People look at pornography and people look at it for all manner of reasons, and most of it is legal, and it can bring a lot of pleasure to a lot of people. That means that somewhere, someone knows what I'm looking at and how often I'm looking at and what floats my boat and what, gets me excited. I'm using me as an example. It could be you, could be anybody, right? Well, that leaves people open to blackmail. And that leaves people, we have all of these examples of, on Radio 4, they cited the Ashley Madison thing, but that was kind of for affairs. But even TalkTalk and Sony and Yahoo get hacked, and all of that data is then sold on or put freely on the web. I don't want people knowing what. And again, I'm using me as an example. I don't particularly use a lot of pornography these days, but I don't want people knowing what I get up to. I certainly wouldn't want to get an email from someone saying, I know what you were looking at last night. Now, I will tell your bosses and I will tell your wife unless you give me 5,000. I don't want that. And by giving your name and your credit card detail, you're setting people up to be blackmailed. And I just think it's the wrong... I don't know what the solution is, Catherine. I'm not an expert on these matters. I think it is you turn the Wi-Fi off in the house after 7:30 at night. That's what I think it is, guys. But then what do you do when they're at school? I don't know. But so that's that sort of thing. I think we've solved the problem of...
It's computers in bedrooms, but the thing is...
Well, no, it's not, though, is it?
And
Because
then
it's
phones.
It's phones. Everyone's got a phone, and
My 8-year-old is begging for a phone.
oh, God, no.
Well, you know, because the school encouraged it for them walking to school
That's
on their
insane.
own. But I've said no. I've said, listen, you walk along the same route as I walk with your sister.
Yep.
I will see you on the way, and if you are not home when you're supposed to be, I will come looking for you, because it's the same route every day. Just be where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, that is... No.
No, because it's, you know, the thin end of the wedge is what my friends' kids do, which is they send a text message, I'm going round such and such's, and their parents do not try and get back to them and say, no, you're coming straight home, and they've turned the phone off. No.
No.
Be where you're supposed to be. And at 8, they're too little. And I know they've not all got smartphones, but I just don't see the point. I don't want them sending messages to each other and all that gubbins yet.
I want them sending messages, but I want them sending them via aeroplanes and notes at the back of the classroom. That's what I want them doing.
Your boys were sending some brilliant messages, weren't they?
Oh, they were writing notes to each other. My eldest had locked himself in his bedroom. He shut the door and was sat against the door. And the other one, and he was passing notes under saying, "Go away. You are really starting to wind me up, and I will never give you any of my stamps." It was over stamps. I will never.
What?
And then my
Sticky
youngest
stamps?
Yeah. My youngest then wrote a note saying, "I'm sorry, I'm annoying you." And my eldest wrote one back saying, "Thank you for your note, but remember this: I will never give you any of my stamps."
Absolutely
Unbelievable.
Definite boundary there.
Unbelievable. 03. The problem I've got with the new Doctor Who is her age.
Why? How old is she?
Too young. Well, she's significantly younger than me.
Yeah,
That's
but the
thing.
men have been lately, haven't, apart from Capaldi.
Well, exactly. Capaldi was a return to form, but Capaldi was the same age, or maybe only I think a year older than William Hartnell.
But they're only shells, aren't they?
Sorry.
You know, the physical appearance of the Doctor, it's only a shell, isn't it? He just regenerates. The spirit of the Doctor regenerates, so it doesn't really matter what they look like.
I think you've misunderstood the whole regeneration process.
Or I'm not interested.
No, it's not shells. That is the Doctor.
But the spirit, he's an old soul, isn't he?
Well, yeah, he's like 900 years old.
Yeah.
But he doesn't... It's not like... He's not exactly the same... Like Peter Capaldi isn't Peter Davison.
Oh, really?
No. I mean, kind of. Can we get...
Is it canon?
It's canon. It's definitely canon, yeah. Oh, sorry, you're taking the piss out of me. So I'm sorry, Kath. I thought it was a genuine question.
Not just you.
Of course it's canon. The only non-canon Doctor Who story is the movies with Peter Cushing. They're non-canon. Tense in the studio just because your computer's broken and mine's working perfectly.
It's not broken, I've just cleansed it. I'm just doing a little check out there now.
Dear listener, we have another hour of this show to go if you wish to take part. Oh, I meant to tell you as well, we're doing shows all over the country. We still haven't found... Oh, this is what I was going to do the whole show about.
Go on.
It was too late now because everyone switches off by about 10:30. And they realise the show's a load of old rubbish. On Friday, the 28th of July, we're going to be in Manchester, doing the show from Manchester, the radio show from Manchester, because we're doing the Rabbit Hole on the Saturday. Then we have to drive back Saturday evening because I'm doing Virgin Radio.
Yeah,
on the
well done,
Sunday.
mate.
Thank you very
Well
much,
done.
Nick. Congratulations. Congratulations to me. Very funny show on Sunday. I was talking over the news. Please don't tell the
Don't
new
tell
boss
his
that
boss.
because he'll go mental. We don't say mental. He'll go spare. We don't say spare. We say loopy. What's the thing? So we haven't got anywhere in Manchester on the 28th, in or nearby, to do this radio show from. We'll drive up sort of, Friday afternoon and we can do it from a listener's house. And I'm sure we've had a few people saying, well, why don't you come to my house and do it? And that's great. Thank you very much indeed. But it would be really nice to do the show, somewhere a little bit different, a little bit more noticeable than someone's house, maybe a bar or a market. I know it's going to be late at night, or a cafe, or just somewhere where we might get a little bit publicity. Basically, because the station aren't publicising us, we have to publicise us. So, 03, and time is running out. It's next week, Friday next week. So 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Or you can email me, Iain, IAIN, at iainlee.com. We really need somewhere rather snazzy that we can do this radio show from, in or near Manchester. Well, we'll have a little bit of leeway there on Friday the 28th. Please do get in touch, dear listener, and tell us where.
Talk Radio.
We have another hour, guys. 0344 499 1000. We've talked porn, we've talked ghosts, we've talked old records. We're talking Manchester and anything else you fancy. Pick up the phone, give us a call. You're listening to the Late Night Alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio.
Late Night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's old style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold, a brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far but you know it won't be long. We're almost there and we paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll find what I call home. Until tomorrow, you know I'm free to roll.
Yeah. It's quiet on the phones tonight.
Yeah.
That's fine. That is absolutely fine. You can listen to us, of course, on DAB. You can listen to us on the Talk Radio app. You can watch us this evening, periscope.tv/Iain Lee, if you want to. I'm just wondering where... Oh, here we go. That's another story. John Turode, isn't it? MasterChef's John Turode says he suffers from a painful condition called chef's arse.
What?
Now...
That's not true.
No, it's a story here.
Is that because they stand up a lot?
He said, now I think this is selfish of chefs to try and claim this. 0344 499 1000, if you want to give us a call. Because I get this quite a lot. He says it is caused by working in hot kitchens and added, it happens when you get really hot. It's a very soft Kiwi accent, isn't it?
Yeah, but you're doing like South African
No,
though.
it happens when you get really hot
No.
in the sweat. It's not. The first one was quite close. It's quite. I'm John Turode. It happens when you get. It happens when you get really hot and the sweat drips down your back.
Oh.
And the only place it can go to is the crack in your bum.
Oh, you know what that's called? Swas.
Oh, God. And then the sweat dries and becomes salty and it chafes together and you get chef's arse!
Sweet!
Bloody hell, John! John 51 revealed...
John 51?
There used to be all sorts of remedies, like rub corn flour on it. Now, you want some Johnson's baby lotion. That's the only thing. Johnson's baby lotion. That'll sort it out. Trust me, John. I might tweet him and let him know. Ray!
Good evening.
Good evening, Ray.
What was that?
The record player just moved, guys. It just moved. That was freaky. Go on, Ray.
Would you like to play Guess the TV theme tune?
Sure. What do we have to do?
Hang on, just listen, hopefully it works. Hang on. Can you hear that?
No.
No.
Oh, hang on. Stand by.
Finish at 1.
Hello?
Hello?
Hang on a second. It's going to annoy my neighbours. Right, stand by. That was me dropping the phone.
Okie dokie. Where's this? Jesus Christ.
Can you hear it?
Not really, no. But we both had to remove... Well, Catherine removed her headphones and I turned mine down because it was deafening.
No idea what it is.
Well, I can't hear it, mate.
Oh, for God's flip's sake.
All I'm getting is... That's it.
What is wrong with my phone? Well, I don't think it's my phone. I think it's yours. Right, one last try and then I'm going to give up.
Okay.
Promise?
Thanks for calling, Ray.
Flipping it.
Was he playing it on this? Oh, it's terrible. There's a strange story in The Sun. It's in a few of the papers. I don't get it. A gang of Lego thieves.
What? Thieves made of Lego?
Come on now. You're better than that. A gang of Lego thieves stole more than £1,000 worth of the toy bricks during a 5-day spree. Right.
Right, one.
Hang on a minute. Lego is well expensive. If you've stolen £1,000's worth of Lego, that means you've stolen about 7 of the big boxes.
Yeah.
Because they can go up to 150, 200 quid a pop. You've stolen £1,000 over 5 days, you absolute lazy, terrible, terrible thieves. Lego is the most expensive thing in the world.
Yeah, if you want to get a decent size set, then it's going to set you back, isn't it?
I don't... there's stupid facts, right? Who makes the most tyres in the world? Lego. It's not impressive. They're not real tyres. They're tiny Lego tyres. They're not real... Okay, who makes the most real tyres in the world? I don't know. Right, well, it's probably Pirelli or Dunlop or something.
Goodyear.
Yeah. Who makes them... Here's something you might know. Who makes the most tyres in the world? Yeah, I do. It's Lego. Are you talking about... Can we talk about real tyres now, guys? For Christ's sake.
They probably make the most windows, most bricks.
Yep. They make the most Lego.
Yeah.
Stores in Dorset have been targeted by the group, which police believe is made up of 2 women and 2 men. So there's 4 of them. Over 5 days, they've only got £1,000's worth of Lego. This is awful thievery. Thievery of the worst kind. A Tesco store in Poole and nearby Toys R Us were targeted within 10 minutes of each other. At the second store, 4 suspects were seen pushing 3 trolleys filled to the brim with Lego before their getaway in a Vauxhall Vectra. Smith's Toys Superstore in Bournemouth also had £600 of Lego taken. That's 3 kits. In total, the gang of thieves are believed to have nicked stock worth £1,368. A man, 38, from Bournemouth, and a woman, also 38, from Southampton, have been arrested, but they've been released. PC Vicky Sims of Dorset Police said... Oh, just stupid. Just stupid. How can you be such... This is the problem. We used to have the best thieves in the world, and now we've got the worst thieves. They stole just over £1,000 worth of Lego. Here's an interesting thing, right? I'm about to get involved in an argument on
I
Facebook.
wondered if you were around with someone.
Right, in the Monkeys film Head, there is a very famous bit of footage which I think... I know why they've put it in the film. I think they're wrong to put it in the film. It's footage of a Viet Cong being shot in the head and executed. It's very famous. You'll have seen it.
Right.
You'll have seen it. It's someone's... I think they've got their hands tied behind their backs. Fella walks up to them, gun in their head, shoots it. You see the blood coming out the other side. Right. It's in the Monkeys film Head. Okay?
Why?
It's because it's like anti-war statement, and it's all about, you know, how the teenage girls are screaming for them, but really they should be screaming for... I think it's wrong being there. And then someone has just posted it, and an article about that. It's a really iconic image of the war. There are two really famous images from that. There's that, and there's one of
the girl running
down with the back all, you know, napalmed and stuff. And there's an article about this picture, and so someone's posted a link to it on a Monkeys Facebook page, and the picture is the head of it.
So you have no choice as to whether you see it.
Yeah, and so I've written, even though I've seen the movie, the Monkeys movie, I make the choice to watch it. It's not great having the picture pop up on my timeline so often, because it keeps popping up. It's literally about to pull the trigger. I know it's iconic, whatever that means, but what I see is a brutal murder and the terror on the person's face. I do think it was a mistake putting this in the Monkeys film and also on this Facebook page. And then to ease the tension, I've quoted a line from the movie. Why should I speak for I know nothing? And then someone's replied, I understand it's very disturbing and difficult to see, but it serves as a reminder of the horrors of war and lawlessness, which is an important lesson. So I've replied, yeah, I've already got that lesson, but thanks very much. And it's now now about to kick off on this page. Oh,
That's why I don't really like Facebook.
No, I don't like Facebook. I don't like computers. Don't like you. 034... That came out. Sorry, guys. Freudian slip. Let's go to a break.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Private message from David Badcock on Facebook.
Oh, good.
I'll do the voice. Game of Thrones already let me down. Having Ed Ruddy Sheeran on it today singing a song and being a bad actor. Rubbish! Well, David joins us now. Good evening, David.
Last time I checked, I wasn't from the Caribbean.
No, I did your accent perfectly. So if you've got issues with that, David, I suggest you talk to your mother.
Right.
Let down by Game of Thrones. No spoilers.
I agree.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Kathleen?
Yes, because I was watching it and I was thinking, because you hear it from a distance, right? The singing comes in and you think, oh, he's trying.
Yep.
Oh, he's really trying.
Yep.
And then you realise who it is.
And let me say this. Awful acting.
Which wouldn't ask, wasn't it?
Is it like when, towards the end of Happy Days, they used to let Potsy Webber sing a song every week? Is it like that?
A bit.
I imagine so. I've never seen Happy Days.
Sorry?
I've not seen Happy Days.
Never?
Never in my life.
Hey, I'm the Fonz, and I'm gonna have unprotected sex in the 50s. They should do a spin-off series called Fonzie's Kids, and it's all the children that he fathered because he wasn't wearing a condom because he was too cool for condoms.
And when was this on the television?
Sorry?
When was this on the television?
Yes, on the 1970s and the 80s.
What, a man having sex?
No.
Yeah, in a leather jacket on his motorbike.
And do you know how he got the ladies? David Babcock.
He'd
just
click his fingers.
And go, eee.
And then ladies all come and sit on him and hump him. You saw it all. There was a queue.
Hey.
Yeah, you have to do it in public.
You're just snapping twigs. David's called in to save the show, which really says something.
Right.
Yes. What have you got for us tonight, David? What supernatural spookiness would you like to unleash on the listening public?
Well, it's not supernatural, and I'm fed up with that kind of thing.
Oh,
you over it?
You throwing in the towel?
No, I'm sick of people taking the Michael.
Well, here's the thing. If you have beliefs that are outside of the norm, and I've learnt this the hard way, Badcock, if you have beliefs that are outside of the norm, you've got to be prepared to take the flak.
Well, I'm not as tough as you, Mr. Lee.
I'm very tough. Leaders lead and followers follow. All right? You can have that. I made that up. That's wise words. Leaders leads and leaders. What was it? Leaders lead.
Leaders leads.
And everyone else follows.
And the others, they're going to follow.
Are you going to follow, David, or are you going to lead?
Lead.
There we go. Lead away.
That's the spirit.
That is the spirit. Lead away.
I thought I'd fall into ranks with the...
You can do what? Not on the radio, you won't.
I'm going to fall into ranks.
Not on the radio, you're not. Oh, fall into ranks. Sorry, I mean.
Fall into ranks.
Yeah, fall into ranks, yes. Who's ranks?
And I'm going to behave like some of your other contributors.
Okay, what does that mean?
I've got a wacky topic.
Oi!
Put some cream on it and stop picking it.
Topic, here we go.
Which colour pear drops is best?
Oh, a pink.
Right.
Green?
No, it's only yellow and pink.
Oh, yeah, no, pink sounds good.
Right. That
didn't really get that. Well, let's put it out there. 0344 499 1000. Which colour pear drops? Jeez.
Second thing.
Yes.
If you wanted to do a show from Rotherham, you're quite happy to stay at mine.
Is Rotherham near Manchester?
Well, it's north.
Okay, thanks for calling, David. I mean, Lucia Pitt.
David, get Badcock back.
No, God, that is freaky, right? That is freaky. That is, if you're watching on Periscope, you saw that happen. I cut him off. I don't want to touch it. He's going to get such a bad review, this fella. Oh, he's all nice on the email, nice when you pop round.
He's so lovely, but he didn't tell us why he wanted to get rid of it.
It did not say his merchandise was haunted.
That's why it was so cheap.
Yeah, of course it is. Oh, that is horrible. That is messed up.
Don't put it in the children's bedrooms. They will never sleep again.
That is thoroughly unpleasant.
Is it off?
It's off now.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Your computer!
Again.
No, don't put it there. Outside. No. Outside and leave it out. Stop bringing it in. Leave it out there. Bloody hell.
Stop telling me off.
Well, stop bringing your computer noisy.
Your equipment keeps going off.
It doesn't matter. That's content. That is annoying. Just don't ever. I don't ever want to see that in here again. Lucia Pitalis has become a famous face on social media.
She hasn't. I haven't seen her.
In fact, loads of famous faces. These are brilliant, right? But I don't know how she does it. The Italian artist uses makeup to transform herself into stars, including Pirates of the Caribbean actor Johnny Depp and rock legend David Bowie. But David Bowie in what's that film he was in?
Labyrinth.
There we go. She has even doubled as German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Fittingly, Lucia, 46, puts her famous phyzogs. And that means face. But they've spelt it F-I-Z-Z-O-G-S. Phyzogs. Because shouldn't it be fizz, P-H-Y-S?
No, I don't think so. I think it's like, I'm going to say that word again that you like.
Yeah.
I think it's like a bastardisation of visage.
Fade to grey. On Facebook, here might really... So these are genuinely brilliant, but I don't see how she's done it. I'll show you. Look. So that's all the same woman if you're looking on Periscope. That's the actual same... I mean, look at her Gene Wilder. Look at the... Gene Wilder. That's her. How does she...
Yeah, it works in a photograph, but I think probably in real life you'd be able to see the joins. Because it's all shading and stuff, isn't it? It's like using her face as the canvas.
Yeah.
It's really clever.
Hang on a minute. Why are you... Oh dear. I was reading something very silly. Yeah, but you hang on a minute. Why are you trying to pour scorn on this?
I'm not.
You poured a little bit of scorn there.
No, I'm not. I'm fascinated by it, and I've watched. You can see them doing it on YouTube quite a lot. I've seen loads of them, and they're brilliant. But photographing it helps, because if you were to look at them in three dimensions,
here comes the
you'd be able to
scorn.
see.
Here comes the scorn again.
No.
Why can't you just
It's not scorn.
It's a little bit of scorn.
It's not scorn. I think it's amazing.
But if you're there, it's not so amazing, is what you're saying. That's scorn. That is actual scorn.
It's not scorn.
There's scorn and you're pouring it.
I'm not.
Just accept that these are brilliant.
You wouldn't.
No.
If you saw her in real life, you wouldn't think that's Gene Wilder.
Why?
I'm not doing it.
So, you are.
It's really clever shading.
It's brilliant.
Front ways on.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, it is brilliant.
Yeah, so then just
But you're
stop.
saying I don't know how she does it. I'm telling you how she does it.
I'm not saying I don't know how she does it. You're saying, yeah, they're good, but I bet if you were there, they'd be rubbish.
No, I'm not.
You are.
No, I'm saying it's done specifically
for photographs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
It's really clever.
Perfect, that's it, and we're done there.
Oh, do you know what?
Yellow.
Up yours.
No, because you're going, but if you were there, it wouldn't be so good.
I'm not.
You did.
You're making a thing of it when it's not a thing.
You said, yeah, it's good, but...
No, I said it's brilliant.
But, if you were there...
It's for front ways on.
I know, exactly, it's photographs.
I'm not continuing this conversation. It's driving me nuts.
I think you need to have a long, hard look at yourself.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, man alive.
But just in a picture, not actually in 3D.
Can we go home early tonight? Oh, dearie me. Oh, dearie me. What story have we got in here? Oh, here we go. When you kiss, right, which way do you go? I go right.
I have no idea.
Well, think. Just go, close your eyes. You're kissing.
I think everyone... Probably right, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Humans are hardwired. I can't kiss to the left.
Oh, God. What an image. Oh, stop it.
Can't do it. Humans are... This is science, but it's not Colin Fernandez. Humans are hardwired to favour leaning to the right while kissing their... And then it says here romantic partners. What about their non-romantic partners?
Also, humans. Do other animals kiss?
Yeah. Monkeys kiss?
No, they don't.
Oh, shut up.
They don't.
Of course they do. Monkeys kiss.
No, they don't.
Well, you think that when they want to make baby monkeys, they just go and whack it in? Oh,
I've seen the. I've seen the films.
Of monkeys doing it, you deviant. You should give your... This is exactly why we need credit card details. You're ruining it for everyone. The stuff I watch is normal, right?
The stuff you watch is romantic by the sounds of it.
Dogs kiss?
No, they sniff each other's backsides.
Yeah, but they kiss. Loads of animals kiss. Mice kiss.
No, they don't.
Of course they do. Why are you being so cold?
You mean Minnie and Mickey?
They found, this is scientists found, that kiss recipients tended to match their partner's head-leaning direction. Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, otherwise it's going to be embarrassing, isn't it?
You know, if you both... One goes to the right, one goes to the left, and you go... Oh. Although they... Oh, for goodness, here we go. Although they knew this was true in Western countries, they were not sure if it was human nature or the result of cultural influences such as films and television. So... These dirty perverts studied how couples kissed in Bangladesh, where public displays of affection are frowned upon and intimacy on screen is heavily censored. Psychologists and neuroscientists from the University of Dhaka, Bath, and Bath Spa studied 48 couples in Bangladesh, asking them to kiss at home, then report back. They've cured cancer, have they? We've got AIDS and leukemia. We've done that now. Brilliant. All right, let's go get some Bangladeshis to have a snog and then tell us about it. So we can sit at home writing our notes up. Furiously writing our notes up.
Stop it.
They studied 48 couples in Bangladesh, asked them to kiss at home, then report back. Men were 15 times more likely to initiate kissing, and both partners showed a bias for turning their heads to the right. More than 2/3 of kiss initiators and recipients turn their heads to the right. Whether someone was... What is this? Someone call in, otherwise I've got to read out more of this crap. Whether someone was left or right-handed... For Christ's sake. Whether someone was left or right-handed predicted which way they leaned, but only if they initiated the kiss.
Oh.
The study in the journal Scientific Reports, probably in the Reader's Wives section... found that the head leaning of the kiss initiator also strongly predicted the recipient's head leaning direction. Why is that even science? That's obvious. Yeah. What is this? This suggests recipients match their partners to avoid clashes. The research suggests the act of kissing is determined by the brain split. Oh, just stick up your arse. Absolute rubbish. Absolute most pathetic. They got a grant for that as well, tossers.
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation. Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000 is... Oh, look, I've missed out a really key word. No wonder people are suggesting we do the show in Somerset. I've missed out the word Manchester.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Let's do that again. I mean, we've just been talking about it, guys. Need somewhere exciting to talk about show. July in or near Manchester. There we go. Flipping it. Some people. That's better. Okay. Right. People are saying Bicester. Where's Bicester?
It's near Oxford.
Yeah. Absolutely useless. 034. I'm not even going to give out the number. No one's calling in. No one's calling in, guys. So we'll just carry on going through the papers. Where should we... All right, okay. There's not really a lot in the papers today. It's all about Doctor Who. Oh, let us have a look. Here we go. Being best at queuing and having afternoon tea. No one has afternoon tea anymore. No one does. We used to be a nation of tea drinkers. We're not anymore. We're a nation of coffee drinkers now. Lattes and what we used to call in the old days frothy coffees. That's what we drink. No one drinks tea anymore. Being the best at queuing and having afternoon tea are among the top 50 things we love about being British.
Oh.
No, but no one drinks tea anymore. An afternoon tea. Talking about the weather and taking pleasure in other people's misfortune are also on the list. 9 out of 10 adults are proud to call themselves Brits and are happy to live here. What does that even mean? I'm happy to live here because my house is here and my job is here and my family is here. But I could quite happily live in America, in Japan. I could quite happily live in Europe. And I never got the pride thing. I'm proud to be British. What? Proud of what? What proud? Because my mum and dad had sex on this little bit of rock and I came out here. I don't get it.
Having been foreign before, it is quite nice to come home and not have to, and not be foreign.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I don't feel particularly...
But if you were born in America or you were born in Germany or you were born in Bangladesh...
Yeah.
You would feel the same attachment there.
Yeah, it's not about the land, really.
No. Habiba!
Hello, Hello, my love. How are you?
Habiba, the love of my life, you bring it back to me. That's me singing Tahiti by David Essex, but changing the word Tahiti to Habiba.
Well done.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, and thank you for the serenading. I appreciate it.
It's literally my pleasure. I've got 26 minutes to fill, and I've bought about a minute out of 2 lines of song just by singing it and then talking about it. So I'm quids in.
Well, I'm late joining the show.
Oh.
But what have you been talking about? Something about... Well, I don't want to know about porn and credit cards.
Okay.
What was the other thing?
Manchester, Ghosts. I've bought a gramophone player.
It keeps starting up by itself.
Yeah, it keeps starting up by itself. It's Haunted. Flip-flops that give you cancer.
No.
Sorry?
Sorry, you're making me laugh.
What? Cancer's funny, is it now, Habiba? Is it? Cancer's funny, is it? Well, I suppose it is in your business because you're an undertaker.
Oh, don't. All I've been dealing with is the tower victims, I'm afraid.
Oh, have you really?
Oh, I did.
Dearie
11
me.
in 1 week.
Oh,
Habiba, goodness gracious me.
It's definitely been the hardest period of work I've ever had to undertake.
There are so many questions I want to ask that I won't because it's inappropriate. But well done you for you're doing good work, Habiba. Well done, and that must be. Yeah, okay, here's a question I can ask. And the Grenfell to one side. When Uncle dies or when Grandpa dies, it's sad, but it's kind of unusual. When you do have to deal with something like Grenfell, but let's put that to one side, something that is horrific, spectacularly horrific.
Yeah, like 7/7 I did as well.
Yeah. Oh, flipping it. But something like that is huge and is horrific and is all of that. Who do you talk to about it? Is there like...
My mum.
Is it? Is that... I was going to ask if there's like an Undertaker's hotline or something with my tongue slightly in my cheek, but whether there was like a sort of counselling service or something that you could employ.
I mean, if we wanted to, we could do. I think we all just talk to each other about it because we were all just so shocked by everything. And being an Undertaker, you get to see all aspects of it.
Oh, I bet.
And it's horrendous. But when I went home, I found myself crying a lot because it was constantly on the news, and I'd go home and tell my mum what I had to do that day, and I'd just burst into tears. And all my mum would say to me is, look, it is tragic, but, these people are not suffering anymore. They're just not suffering. That's anything, because all I kept going through is just what they went through, and I don't know, it's just, but I'm just hoping that they were all just knocked out by the smoke. And didn't feel a thing and went to sleep. That's what I hope.
I listened at Radio 4 a couple of weeks ago, reported on the coroner's findings for some of the families in Grenfell.
Oh, Lord.
And I had to turn it off halfway through because...
Funny because the coroners that I've been dealing with, I couldn't talk to them about it. I had to pass it on to somebody else. I didn't want to know.
It was... just the saddest stories of people that had tried to escape from very high up, and families got separated. Oh God!
Yeah.
And so two of the families, two members of the family would make it out, and then they found, the third member 6 floors down from where and you just think, oh my gosh, the things those. And I won't go into any more detail because it is literally horrific. So I'm not going to say anything more than that. But the things those people must have seen, and I knew it would happen. It happened quicker than I thought it would actually. But the tone has already, a month later, has already having a go at them for illegally subletting, having a go at them because they're turning down...
Migrants.
Yeah, because they're migrants, having a go at them because they're turning down properties that are outside of London, having a go at them because they have got the cheek to heckle... an MP or their local councillor, having a go at them because some people are saying, including people who work at this radio station, accusing them of turning this into a political football. Of course it's political because it could have been avoided. You know, people say, oh, you're using this to attack the Tories. Well, hang on a minute. The things these people have seen, the friends and family that they have lost, I will let these poor souls say anything they want. If they want to come on and have a go at me, I'd let them do it, because who are we to say what they can and can't be angry about?
I totally agree with you. Having met a lot of the family, friends and relatives of the people who have perished in this disaster, I totally get their anger. I totally get it. And if I was in the same situation, I'd probably act the same way.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Some of those stories are so sad. The story of everybody that was in that building is so sad. Not some of them. Everyone. And I still drive past it once or twice a week, or drive where I can see it once or twice a week. And, dear God, the stuff you must have to see and deal with, Habiba. Well done you for being a valuable. What was that?
Of course, someone has to do it, Ian.
Well, but you provide a great service, and you are a very valuable member of society.
And you and Kath provide a great service. Because I tell you what, you've cheered me up. I listen to all your podcasts. I might not always call in, but of an evening when I get back, especially in the last month. It's been so good to chuckle and listen to a bit of Alan Caddick getting peed off, and I just love it.
There we go. I knew there's a reason we kept him.
Thank you, Kath.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, Habiba.
Have a good evening, my darling. And I'll speak to you soon.
Ta-ta, bless you. I mean, dear God, someone like that saying we provide a service. But I bow in just in wonderment at what she has to put up with. Honestly, I couldn't listen to this report on Radio 4, and I felt guilty for turning it off because I kind of felt it was like a duty I had to listen to it. But there was just one story, and I was in tears in the car, and I just thought, I cannot listen to this. We got another 15 minutes. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. The late night alternative on Talk Radio.
Late night Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
So, being the best at queuing, 0344 499 1000, and having afternoon tea are among the top 50 things we love about being British. I couldn't name you 5. Every now and then there'll be talk of the government introducing a British test or something for Uber drivers or for whomever. And Nick Ferrari will do a phone in. What makes us British? I don't know what makes us British, but getting upset that a woman has got a lead in a science fiction television programme, that makes us British, it seems. Seems to be the key factor. Talking about the weather and taking pleasure in other people's misfortune are also on the list. 9 out of 10 adults are proud to call themselves Brits. The survey also revealed the preferred way to say scone rhymes with gone. For goodness sakes. A spokesman for the who ran the poll said, "This shows us our stereotypes of what we love about being British. We apologise too much and tea cures all ills." Top 10 things about being British. In reverse order, number 10, being the best at queuing. Number 9, afternoon tea. See, I would say one of the best things about being British is feeling awkward after giving a bad handshake. You've given a handshake and you've just grabbed the fingers. Yeah. I've done that before. Instead of the hand, you grab the fingers and you come away hating yourself for the rest of the day. That to me is being British.
Well, then there's the modern version of that, which is going in for the hug.
Yeah.
And just getting a really rigid, awkward, not really hug back.
Number 8, we love an underdog. This is absolute bullshine. Number 7, we are proud of where we live.
Because no one else in the world's like that, obviously.
What about America, you muppets? They have to flipping salute the flag and sing we bum our flag every day. In school. 5-year-olds singing we bum our flag now. Number 6, we apologise for everything. Number 5, tea solves every problem. Number 4, we're best at being sarcastic. Oh, are we now? Number 3, Jesus. And this, right. And this is why I hate being British.
Go on.
Number 3 reason of why people love being British is why I hate being British, right? And it says so much. the number 3 reason makes us proud to be British. Everyone speaks our language. British.
Oh, you...
Everyone speaks British.
It's not true.
You absolute, arrogant, smug, lazy arseholes. For crying out loud. First of all, there is no British language, you idiots. Secondly, not everyone speaks it. Thirdly, even if you can't learn a language, and I'm terrible at languages, take a flipping book with you. Take a book, and when you're in a shop, go, and look, to do that, at the very least, do that, you smug, arrogant, thick Neanderthals. That's what I hate about being British. That smug, and it's not so much now. I mean, it's still in existence, but I remember in the 80s and the 90s, it was even more so. Yes, hello, the bloody idiot doesn't understand me. Yes, what time do you close? All of that rubbish. Take a guidebook, get it out and make an effort.
Because do you know what? They flipping love it. Apart from the French, who'll generally want to speak to you in English because they're better.
I used to be quite good at Japanese. I'm not now, I can't remember it, but I had lessons. Man alive, I blew the Japanese minds because Western people don't bother with their language. Very, very few Westerners, particularly Americans and British people, bother to learn Japanese. I silenced a Chinese restaurant in Japan by walking in, I can't remember the phrase now, saying, hello, I'm a vegetarian. Do you serve... I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat or fish. Will you be able to help? And do you have a menu in English? And literally everyone in this restaurant, someone went... And they blew their minds. I got on a bus. Excuse me, does this bus go to Tokyo? The bloke was like, no, it doesn't, in Japanese. No, it doesn't. I went, which bus do I need to get to Tokyo, please? And he answered, and I understood it. And it blew everyone's mind.
And you enjoy yourself more because you're listening to everything. I loved it! You've walked down the street with me and you know that my radar goes off.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. I especially love it when people assume you don't understand what they're saying.
Oh, that's good. My wife speaks fluent Greek. And a number of times we've been to a Greek island and they have been very rude about us or have been eyeing up her arse. Mm-hmm. And she will speak to them in English and let them talk. And just as she's going away, she will give them a withering put down in Greek. Yes. And it's hilarious and it is wonderful. Wonderful to see. Good evening, Kyle.
Good evening.
How many languages do you speak? Let's count them.
I can... mainly English.
Yes, mainly English.
Although I can order a cup of tea in French.
There we go, you see. That's a start. Go on, then.
Avez-vous une tasse de thé avec lait?
Okay, you'd understand that.
Beautiful, beautiful. You see, and that little bit means they won't put wee-wee in it. And I don't mean yes. What you got, Carl?
No, I was just going to say the thing about Britishness. Yes. I don't know whether I've told you this before. My nan, who sadly passed away, but not that long ago, maybe about 5 years ago, I took her to Andrew Nutter's restaurant.
Whose restaurant?
Andrew Nutter.
I don't know who that is. Is that like? Is he chef? Well, she's chef.
Yeah, he's been on Channel 5. That thing where you do the cat audio.
Yeah. Hang on. His cat's not been on Cats Make You Laugh Out Loud, has it?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, but of course I watch all of the Channel 5 programmes, and the ones I miss, they get sent to me on video.
Indeed.
Okay, so you went to a posh restaurant.
Well, she did, and I thought it was a special treat. Excuse me. So I took her up to the restaurant, and we paid, it sounds nothing now, really, for a bloke from Rochdale. But it was about 25, 30 quid for a posh afternoon tea. And my nan sat there, and they brought out because they bring out very small sandwiches, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course they do.
And she said, and people heard her in the restaurant, and she was in, like I said, like 80s, and she went, I don't like this bread, it's mouldy. I went, no, it's herbs.
Yes.
And she said, well, I'm not eating it.
Oh, I like your nana.
Money down the drain, boss.
And I bet, what was it, 25 quid for tiny little sandwiches with the crust cut off, I'd imagine?
Yeah, well, it was mini brioches with herbs in, but again, my nan said they were mouldy, so she didn't eat them.
That, to me, is what is British. Old people complaining that Ponzi food is off.
Yeah.
That is what makes me proud to be British.
My gran sends her vegetables back if they're Alicante.
Well, they're undercooked, Kath.
Too hard.
Really.
Too hard.
Yeah.
Plus, she's got her own teeth, and there's a reason for that. She doesn't eat anything hard anymore.
Well, do you know what I didn't know? And this might be so I was at a sort of comedy show tonight, and I didn't know that Ozzy Osbourne had false teeth until tonight.
Oh.
Sorry, what? Well, okay. Well, drugs makes your teeth drop out. Here's what they should say to kids. Don't do drugs. Why not? Your teeth will drop out. And they do.
And your nose will collapse.
Yeah. So I didn't know that. I've interviewed Ozzy Osbourne, the nicest smelling man I have ever met. He smelled wonderful. I can't believe I've interviewed Ozzy Osbourne. I had to go and listen to his rubbish new album. Then I got to sit with him for 20 minutes and talk to him. Me and Ozzy. It was brilliant. But he
Did
smelled...
you not look at his...
I didn't look at his teeth, Carl, but now that you've mentioned that if that opportunity ever presents itself again, I'm just going to be staring at his, hey, what are you doing looking at my teeth?
You know, Whitney used to wear false teeth as well at the end. What a shame.
Drugs crack.
What a shame.
Drugs crack, isn't it? Drugs crack, Kyle.
Well, that's how you age horses. I don't know what I was going to say. Kath would know that, but I don't know why you would know that, Kath. I apologise. That's awful of me. But that's how you...
it's out there now.
The age of horses.
Yeah. Well, this is why you're not supposed to look a gift horse in the mouth.
Is that true? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because that's like checking its quality,
Yeah,
isn't it?
so basically you're checking its age. So you get given a free horse, you go, wicked, free horse. You don't go, I'm just going to look in its mouth to see how old it is. Hang on, this is an old nag, jog on. This is, don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah, but I didn't know that.
There you go, Carl. You see, we are educational. We may not be entertaining, but we are educational. Hey, the vet's fixed my cat today. Velvet, 18 and a half years old. Very thin. She's been unhappy since we got the dog. It's been a miserable time. And she's getting very thin. And I thought, I'm going to take her to the vet's. And I'm set for the worst. And the vet examined her, trimmed her claws and went, yeah, it's her thyroid. I think we can fix this. And I went, really? So, yeah, just give her some pills. But it now means I've got to give the cat tablets. And here's the thing.
They won't be tricked, will they?
No, you cannot trick them. She is not a tablet eater. And he showed me the way to do it. And he said, this is what you need to do.
Oy.
And he just grabbed her head, yanked it back, squeezed her mouth open, and just chucked it down the back of her throat and then rubbed her neck so she swallowed it. And I said, right, I'll take that. Hang on a minute. Yes, line one. Hello? Hello? Boring. Okay, hello? Okay, thanks very much indeed. That was someone phoning up and playing... was it Homer Simpson saying boring?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's from the Nick Abbott clip. Okay, right. There is not a chance in hell of me being able to chuck a tablet down my cat. I won't see her now. I won't see her again.
She knows.
She'll disappear. I won't get anywhere near her getting a tablet. He just whacked it down there and rubbed her throat and she swallowed. But here's the thing, guys. Always have pet insurance because this is going to end up costing a fortune. Today, for the blood tests and the tablets, was 270 quid. And there might be a couple more things wrong with her, which they can fix, but... always get pet. I've always had pet insurance, always, and I think it's not for her. It's 99 quid a year, 100 quid a year, which is it's not. It's a significant amount of money. I've had her for 18 years. You go and do, or 16 years. You go and do the maths. But the insurance will cover it, man. That's what you do, and particularly with animals, they get ill. Remember once I had treatment for it. It cost about £4,000.
Gosh,
the insurance covered it. I would have paid it if I had to, things we do for our cats. That's it, dear listener. That's the end of, let's be honest, a rather lacklustre show this evening. They can't all be winners, but this one will be podcast, unlike the one on Saturday. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Catherine. Don't forget you can, of course, download podcasts. You can buy tickets for shows we have got coming up. If you follow me on Twitter, @Iain Lee, I bang on about them all the bloody time. I'm sure most of you will have muted me, but there you go. Show tonight, and then show on Wednesday, and then I am off. Until then, ta-ta.